Hold on. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to remember how to do this. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. Hi. Hello, Alphonse. Hi, Gringo. Yeah, I just decided, like, fuck it. And just, threw it out there, you know? I don't know. I've been missing streaming, so I decided my ear is not too bad, and I feel like I'm underwater right now, so it's I might be talking a little louder than usual because I get that feeling of when you can't hear very well, so you talk louder because you feel like other people can't hear you. Like, I'm kind of doing that, which is a little weird of a feeling. But it doesn't really hurt. I just feel like I'm underwater right now. Like, I'm under the water. Like, that's what I feel like. Don't push yourself. Yeah, if it starts hurting again, I'll just make it like a short stream or something. Just, I don't know. I was going a bit stir crazy and just felt like, I don't know. I just was like, I need to stream. I need to do something. Could feel that when I was on break. I had the itch too. Yeah. Especially because, like, all I've really been able to do is just, like, bed rot, essentially. It's like, that's the only thing I was able to do was just, like, rot in bed. And that sucked. Don't get me wrong, it gave me time to make progress on Animal Crossing, but it sucked because it just makes you feel kind of like depressed, honestly, when like all you can really do is just kind of like bed rot. Because yeah, it was so bad. It's been a lot better. About a day, not a day, about like, at this point, honestly, it was probably like a week ago when I first had the first ear infection. That was probably the worst pain I've ever felt in like my entire life. Like, that was truly hell. It was my right ear. Like, I literally, like, I scared the shit out of Boyfie because he like got home from work that Friday and like entered the room and I was just laying in bed like crying. Like, I scared the shit out of him. Like, he was so worried about me. And because of that, Boyfie had taken me to urgent care, and then I very reluctantly let them stick the thing in my ear to look around, and she was like, yeah, your shit's fucked. And she gave me a bunch of, do you sound sick as hell? I feel sick as hell. I feel sick as hell, man. Okay, I'm glad. I didn't know I I feel sick as hell. Yeah, but I had taken to urgent care, and it was like they were like, "Damn, your ear is fucked up," and put me on like drops basically. And then I went to the dentist, and then they were like, "Damn, your shit's still fucked up." Head pat after the ads. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, it was so bad too because the dentist then realized that the urgent care people only gave me antibiotic drops and that wasn't doing anything. Oh my god, I'm stanced up again. Yay, thank you all. I was so mad when this didn't look like it and just made me look like I was like aura farming, but now it's like I feel like I have to keep it that way because of how funny it looks. But yeah, at the dentist, then they prescribed me actual antibiotics, thank god, because that helped. And the ear infection went away, but then they sent me to be like, go talk to a surgeon. And yesterday I talked to a surgeon, which is kind of scary because I've never gotten surgery before, so I was kind of scared to talk to them. It seems right now I don't have another ear infection. What it is it's just my jaw joint is putting pressure on my ear, so it feels like I'm underwater and like all this stuff, but that's why it hasn't hurt as bad. It's just sometimes it decides to like hurt a bunch. Basically, like, dude, it was I'm not even joking. The surgeon, his fucking face when he looked at my x-ray and then looked at like, he was wearing like a surgical mask on his lower half of his face, but I could just tell he was like, ew, when he looked at me. Like, his eyes widened and he was just like, ooh. Hi, Pumpkin. You want to name the disease? You want to name the disease? Dude, my boy, he was horrified when I told him, because literally, so what happened was they looked at they had to give me a CAT scan of my face. Or one, I didn't know you could do a CAT scan of just your face, but that's what they did. And apparently my shit's all fucked up. So like, it's my wisdom teeth. I feel like oh my god, I'm gonna sound like such a loser for it. I feel like that one Faker meme from League of Legends where it's like, all roads lead back to Faker. It's like, all roads lead to my wisdom teeth. Like, literally, so my top 2 wisdom teeth, which I thought were the main problem, found out those divas, not the main problem. My top 2 wisdom teeth have like almost fully come in, and they're not actually hurting my other teeth. They're actually going outwards into my jaw. So they're actually growing sideways into my jawbone, which is why my jaw joints are having such issue, because they're basically like trying to lodge themselves into my jaw, which is causing, you know, the jaw pain, partially. And it's gonna be difficult because they're gonna have to go in there and like try to get them out from behind my jaw joint. I'm not a professional, but that doesn't sound right. No, yeah, instead of going straight, they just were like, wonk. But the divas at the bottom, those were, you know, I shouldn't have been shocked that, you know, the bottom was where things were really going nuts, but they were. Basically, my bottom wisdom teeth haven't come in, like, at all. Like, visibly. Like, my top ones, like, yeah, they popped out, but my bottom ones haven't breached the skin at all. It's just a little strange, considering my top ones have. Well, I found out where they are. I actually got my wisdom teeth removed 2 weeks ago. Oh, dang. Dude, my bottom wisdom teeth are basically growing in, like, almost fully sideways into my other teeth. Like, the front of my wisdom teeth, or like what would be the tops of them if they actually came, like, breached the skin, is basically like full sending the, like, T-boning the side of my teeth. And so it's causing some issues with, like, my teeth spacing. But that's not the crazy thing. Apparently, because they're so deep, the roots of my bottom wisdom teeth have grown into my nerve tract in my jaw. So, I just wanted to get dental implants. Yeah, get veneers, that's what you wanted. Mine is only similar to Mina's, but I couldn't afford to remove them. Trust me. Yeah, no, that's my thing. I couldn't afford to remove them. So yeah, apparently my bottom wisdom teeth have grown into my nerve tract. So that's why I'm having the ear pain. Because they, like, they literally had like they had the x-ray on this big monitor, and like he was like pointing to it like a school teacher. He was like, you see this big gap in your jaw right here? That's where your big nerve is for your entire jaw that goes all the way up to your ear. Yeah, your teeth are in that. And I was like, oh. Oh, cool. So I hope you weren't American, because that's gonna be. Oh, if I have news for you. Yeehaw, am I right, fellas? Yeah, no, that's why in high school, you have the worst luck, dude. I have so many medical problems. It's so bad. Literally, what it is that I would go to a third world country. It's literally, I was supposed to get my wisdom. I'm 24. I've been told to get my wisdom teeth since I was like 16. However, I could not, because basically, you know, in medical insurance, it's like you have to have medical insurance in America. You have to. We don't have free healthcare, tax subsidized healthcare. My parents didn't ever put me on their insurance. My parents never gave me insurance, so I, for my entire like 0 to 18, never had insurance. So I was never able to get like serious things done, and like even though I have like medication I have to take, they just paid out of pocket. Do you have any foreigner friends? I mean, I do, but I have some Canadians I know. But I am, so here's a fun thing. So sometimes being in America, being poor can help you. Because since I've moved away into a different part of the country, and I don't have a job because a certain fucking Cheeto destroyed the job economy, I was able to get on government healthcare. Because I'm considered poor because I don't have an income. So I'm taking advantage of it. Yeah, you can go to Costa Rica, Alphonse. I'm so jealous. Yeah, I don't have anything like that. Like, so I'm basically taking advantage of the government healthcare for like poverty people, basically, as much as I can. And it's been kind of like crazy because I normally because like I have asthma, for example, and I used to have it really bad as a kid. I had to go to the doctor like every 6 months to get new prescriptions, all that kind of stuff. It cost me like 90 to 120 USD to go to the doctor every time. And now like I can go to the doctor and I don't get charged, and it kind of scares me because I'm like, what do you mean? And so basically, like, right now, the thing with the surgery is and they also did mention, so how they're gonna have to get the bottom ones out is they're basically gonna have to go digging into my fucking mouth, and they're like, we're gonna have to, it kind of scared me when he said it, and he knew it scared me, so he tried really hard to comfort me. He was a very nice man. He said that when they remove my bottom wisdom teeth, they're gonna be able to visibly see my nerve. That's how deep it is, which is like terrifying to me. Like that they're just gonna be like, yeah, we're just gonna be able to like see it. It's gonna be all there. And, you know, that's very dangerous to have your nerves exposed. So then what they said they're going to do is because they're going to put me under to do this, obviously. They said they're going to draw my blood while I'm under, and then they're going to take my stem cells and create a graft and then put it in my mouth to cover the nerves so that the nerves aren't exposed, and then they're going to do the normal, like, stitching. So I'm gonna also get a blood graft so that they could cover the nerves, so that the nerve part at least can heal quicker, so that I can like have a lower chance of infection. But yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm waiting for since I'm on like government insurance, they're having to reach out to them and basically be like, here's what she needs done, can you approve it? They said they're pretty confident that they'll approve and pay for at least majority of it, but they said in total the procedure would be like $2,500, like $2,500, which is like, they better pay for it, because otherwise, yeah. And then also, because another thing is, like, I have really bad jaw issues, like, my jaw's misaligned and stuff, and, like, I have really, like, my jaw will click and, like, what's it called? Like, my jaw will, like, get stuck sometimes. So, the thing is, like, apparently, I've been told that I I clench my teeth really bad when I sleep. So they're like, oh, you need to get a night guard as well and get like a custom one, and that should help with your jaw pain. The guard won't be covered by insurance, and that's gonna be like apparently like $850 fucking dollars. The way you say it makes it sound like you're gonna learn what percentage they'll pay after the procedure. Like, no, they aren't gonna schedule me until I hear back from insurance, but yeah, it's a matter of just the insurance is gonna tell me if they're gonna fully pay or if they're gonna partially pay, and then once I find out from them, then I'm going to schedule. The thing is, I did order like ones online to do yourself, like night guards, but I just couldn't get it to fit good. It was really like, I could get it to fit decently, but for like sleeping, where like it needs to be pretty fitted, or else it's just like really like odd in your mouth, you know? So I don't know, honestly. And like, Boyfie's a saint. He said like, he has like literally a medical credit card, and this is gonna make the Europeans who lose their mind. There's specific credit cards in America specifically made for medical purposes only, and my boyfriend has one of those, and he's like, if we need to get you the night guard, like I'll put it on that and then just pay it off. And yeah, we literally own a credit card purely for medical issues. You can't use anything but medical issues on it. It's just a credit card, that's it. Like a normal credit card, but only for medical stuff. Yeah. Like, to get it, you have to be approved for like your credit score, and it's literally like a normal credit card. It's just for the purpose of, yeah, it's called like care credit or something. It's for medical. Like, you can't pay a medical thing at once, so you can put it on that. Yeah, capitalism, dude. I'm in fucking Turkey, and this one time a little tummy ache, I couldn't go to the toilet. Same day, 12 hours later, I moved my appendix and paid nothing. Oh, you're in Turkey? I wish I could say something in Turkish to you, but I don't know how to speak Turkish. But Turkey is such an interesting country. Like, Turkey's such an interesting country because, like, how, like, dude, for us getting overshadowed by fucking Turkey is like, like, Adwan should not be fucking running laps on us, man. Like, come on. My gynecologist delayed my phone call for 2 weeks. God, yeah. See, my thing too is like, I know the NHS and I know Canada's health. I forget what the abbreviation is for Canada's national healthcare. It might be the same. But, like, I know it's like long wait times and stuff like that really is like the big issue with a lot of that. The thing is, in America, you got long wait times and fucking expensive. So, like, man, I would rather have to wait than Like, here in America, if you got real issues, yeah, they'll pump you through in America. Why? Because they know they're gonna charge you. Because, like, for example, it costs, like, I believe it cost $20,000 to give birth in America. I believe that's the cost. On average, about $20,000. Just to give birth. Like, just to cover the hospital bills. For the birth. Get yourself some Turkish friends. Like, could you not? You'll get queen treatment and money. It was like, dude, foreigner friends come to Turkey for surgeries and I greet them. Honestly, like, trying to think. Yeah, guys, I love Turkey. I love Turkish oil wrestling. Haha. I totally voted for Erdogan because I didn't get a choice like normal, like all of y'all. Haha. Canadian, just go to Canada? Well, for what? It's expensive to go to Canada too because it's America and everything's expensive. You voted for Erdogan? Isn't that the whole thing? Like, you don't have a choice, you have to vote for Erdogan. Isn't that the thing? Like, didn't he like basically rig y'all's elections? Like, even if you voted for someone else, you kind of voted for Erdogan. Isn't that the thing? Oh, you actually can? Okay, I heard that. Okay, it just doesn't matter. Yeah, that's literally what I was. Yeah. I occasionally watch a streamer who is Turkish, so I've heard some things. No, I know Erdogan is a fucking piece of shit. Fuck that guy. Erdogan, it's kind of crazy. You know it's cooked when Trump likes your president. Is all I'm gonna say. Like, you know you're cooked. No, it's not. You know you're cooked when your president is friends with old Donnie. That's when you know you're cooked. Looks at Boris, you know, looks Starmer. Is that y'all's new guy? Starmer, is that the new British guy? Because, like, for example, like in Prime Minister in Canada, like Trump already didn't like the Mr. Blackface, the last guy, but like he especially doesn't like Mark Carney. Boris is the prime minister for okay, but the thing is, Boris like stood out the most because he was funny looking. Boris stood out the most because he looked like if you asked someone to draw like a cartoonish depiction of a British person, they would draw Boris Johnson. He was like the quintessential like Tory fucking stereotype that a lot of people have. People looked at Russia with the tariffs, and let me tell you some restrictions we have. We don't have PayPal, we don't have KFC, we don't have Discord or Roblox. Oh yeah, I forgot Liz, yeah. Oh, thank you, old chat. That scared me. Thank you, old chat. You keep banning random social media and then unbanning them. I mean, that's like what we've done with like Trump being like, we're gonna ban TikTok, and then, guys, I'm saving TikTok. Like, we love you. Just, yeah. I mean, we have the thing right now where like Trump is basically just like, if you hurt my fifis, I will deport you. That's what he's doing right now. He's like, we will deport you. Secret Taser can buy international, it costs more than $40. Yeah, Erdogan like sucks. Like he's pretty buns. I feel really sorry for you. Boris was 4 prime ministers ago. Yeah, I don't know. Hold on, let me. Is the current one the Hold on. I've been out of date with my oi brubs, not gonna lie. Oh, he does not. Keir Starmer does not look how I thought he did. I thought. Wasn't like your prime minister? Oh, it was the last guy. I remember. Didn't you guys have like, you literally just elected a brown dude, and then people were like, "Oh my god, Britain is Turkey now," or something. Wasn't that like a thing? Like y'all elected like one singular brown dude, and then like people were pearl clutching that like Britain has fallen or something. Yeah, which like I've heard that guy kind of sucked, but like not for that fucking reason. Like, you know, passes laws that someone dared him on a Tuesday. Okay, the thing is for what with Trump is a petty bitch. For what? Trump will put in, if you just say like, no, Trump, you shouldn't pass this, he's gonna be like, well, now I'm gonna pass it because you said no. Like, he's that kind of guy. He's a petty, I mean, people forget he was a reality TV star. Like, he's known for, he's literally catty. That's his thing. He's a catty diva, unironically. Like, for example, dude, I so badly want to know what Trump's opinion is on the Katy Perry situation. I want to know so bad what his opinion is on Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom getting a divorce, because I know that diva has an opinion on it. Because if you go back into his tweets, like when Katy Perry was first like with Russell Brand, he's literally tweeting like, Katy, you should break up with him, he is no good. Katy, you deserve better. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Like, I know when he saw the news that Katy Perry was divorcing Orlando Bloom, I know his finger itched to fucking tweet about it. To tweet about his favorite pop girly. He also killed his brother. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. Dude, it's so funny when, like, I love when conservatives try to make Trump seem like an alpha dude, bro, when it's like, he loves Broadway. Like, he talked about having, like, a spiritual experience when he saw Phantom of the Opera, and, like, he loves drag. Unironic. Despite what he says, like, he did drag. Like, his friends did drag before. He's on TV with his former lawyer doing drag where he pretends to hit on him like he's a woman. Like, Rudy Giuliani did drag on national TV. Trump, like, he's like a fucking, he has old tweets about Twilight. like come on, man. Like, he was a fucking diva. A New Yorker Democrat who hates guns loves drag. You know that one meme that was like, Trump is the glizzy throat girl? Yeah. And his dad killed 2 Frenchmen with the sword. Yeah. The thing about Trump is literally like, yeah, he was a reality TV star. He was the host of Celebrity Apprentice. He also was huge in WWE. Like, he was a big WWE donor and showed up a lot to the things because he played the role of, like, the quintessential, like, rich socialite, you know? That's why he was in Home Alone 2, you know? He's all about that kind of stuff. Now, I 100%, and I say this with my full chest as someone who, you know, Trump ran the first time partly just to see if he could. Like, I really do truly think he did not expect to win, and he did it just to see if he could do it. Because he's an attention whore and was like, you know what? Fuck it. I really don't think he expected to win. And then he got put into the actual seat of president and he fucking hates it. Like, Donnie hates being president. He does not like it. He likes the power and the fact that people, like, have to see his face all the time. But, like, he's notorious for not reading briefings and not attending meetings. Like, he fucking hates it. He literally just does it because he can. Like, he does it for the ego, because if there's one thing Donnie hates, it's a loser, you know? Trump not pass his VTuber ban, fuck you, law, just because he said that. No, because so many, literally, listen. Ask a lolicon who they vote for and you'll know very quickly, and that's a large chunk of VTuber fans. He ain't gonna get rid of VTubers. He'll run as much as he can. That's the thing. Like, dude literally is gonna he's also think he saw and everything he saw. Yeah, he's like gotten so cartoonishly evil. Like, he is so much like objectively worse than his first term and has gotten so much more cartoonishly evil. And please, I had the chance. Ask a conservative what they yeah, ask especially ask a libertarian. If you meet someone who calls themselves a libertarian, if you want to know very quickly what kind of person they are, ask them what they think about the age of consent. And very quickly you'll get fucking like, well, and you're like, uh-oh. Oh yeah, you're not American, you're Turkish. Libertarians are technically a third party. Technically a third party, but they're conservatives that just don't want to call themselves conservatives. They are they're the traditional, like, we don't want government interference. We want to be able to do everything ourselves. They tend to be the people who refer to themselves as like socially liberal, fiscally conservative, those kind of people. If you ever watched King of the Hill, very Dale Gribble-esque, like, they are very much a libertarian, a capitalist focused ideology that lines a conservative ideology more than not. They hate paying tax more than anything else. Yes. If you mention, they will literally, like, they act as if they're not as, like, demonic as conservatives and be like, I don't care what you do in the privacy of your home. But if you told them, like, we will, if you let us lower taxes by 1% in exchange, we'll, like, kill all women, they'll be like, okay, bet. Like, taxes is their trigger word. I already told you I'm not American. I haven't watched King of the Hill. Okay, well, King of the Hill is like even popular in like Japan and stuff, so I didn't know. Yeah, if you mention taxes, they'll be like, that's communism, can't have it. They care more about their wallet than anything else. They will shove you down if it means keeping even a fucking coin in their pocket. Most of them are pedophiles. If you ask them what they think about that, there's such a fucking meme of the, like, asking a libertarian. There's two memes about libertarians. For one, is libertarian guys with Asian wives tends to be a trend. Like some white libertarian hick dude who's married to an Asian woman. And then if you ask them about the age of consent, they'll be like, well, I think actually government interference is bad. And it's like, okay, bud. Okay. Like, they have like a weird staunch opinion that like 16 is the ideal age, but only for women, you know. Sub versus Dub, King of the Hill discourse, and yeah, it's so funny. Which, like, at that point, you have to get the sub. I can't read, so I have to watch the dub. They're even trying to reduce the competition. Yeah, it's. I say this as someone who my dad was like. My dad is like, I think truly like the median American voter. Because my dad was like a libertarian guy who got really creeped out by like the pedo-y side of it, so he didn't really like voting for the Libertarian Party much because a lot of libertarians have a lot of bad rep for being kind of weird. And he was like, I don't know, man, I like low taxes, but they're kind of creepy. And then he voted for Obama twice. And then voted for Trump. Like, I think my dad unironically is sadly the like median American voter, and just like there is no core ideology there. There's no core ideology to them. He votes for the winner. Yeah, my dad is. Imagine a 16-year-old and 17-year-old by day, and 6-year-old gets arrested. Yeah, that's the thing is like, so in America, we have what's called Romeo-Juliet laws, which actually is for the specific problem of like, if two teenagers are dating and one of them becomes 18 before the other, like, if they have been dating before, like, they're not gonna get clapped for being like, you know, like if it's like a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old or something and one of them becomes 18 beforehand, they're not gonna get clapped. And literally because of that, like there'll be dudes in fucking college who will be like, actually it's protected under Romeo and Juliet. And I'm like, no, brother, you are 21 years old. Get the fuck away from that high schooler. Yeah, for your age gap, yeah. It's... Dude, there's nothing fucking weirder than when I was in college and like encountering the people, guys and gals, that were like, dude, y'all are prowling the high schools. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you inviting seniors in high schools to your parties? Like, they can't even drink or anything. We just beat those people in the streets. See, here we elect them to the president because our president is a convicted rapist. See, here in America, if you do sex crimes, you can become president. Hey, we do that here too. The ones we don't elect, we beat them. Ah, okay, yeah. See. We just like exclusively elect them, grab them by the pussy. Yeah, the thing is that's like, dude, he literally has like charges against like from fucking children on him that like he just settled out of court. Like 12-year-olds level children, you know? And then, you know, he just got in trouble against like a year or two ago because a woman took him to court, you know? And it was just like, yeah, you know what? I like that guy. Settled out of court. Yeah, exactly. It means here's money. Shut the fuck off. Like, you stupid baby. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I know, but Erdogan, yeah, he jailed his opponent and then burned his diploma and was like, see, he doesn't have the education requirement to be able to run. Yeah, which to be honest, like, because isn't that the thing? You have to have a diploma to run in Turkey. So isn't that why he did it? So that he can be like, see, he doesn't have, which I will admit, that's really fucked up, but also like, I gotta admit, that's pretty fucking funny. That's such a big brain play to be like, I'm gonna find the diploma and burn it. It's so fucking insane. Like, he didn't even do the classic shit he did of just like accusing them of crimes and getting them locked up. Like, he just like, that's so insane. Like, Erdogan is like actually fucking nuts. Like, figuratively. Oh, see, I genuinely deadass would not have put it past him. I would not have put it past him because I know how petty that fucker is. Like, that's why Trump loves him, because he's petty and he loves to like position himself as like this macho machismo kind of guy, you know? Nobody's gonna remember. Yeah, that's sadly the American issue of Americans have goldfish brain. So anything that happens, if they're not gonna fucking remember by the time things dude, it was insane to me when the major ICE protests are happening and there were people talking about like, I voted for Trump, but I didn't know he was talking about deporting 20 million people. Like, as a political science major, it kind of makes me want to like seppuku myself, because what do you mean you're voting for someone that you don't know their policy? Like, it's just, it blows my mind that Americans will see like one ad on the TV and be like, that guy seems all right, and then go and vote for him. Like, I get it, you know, politics isn't fun for everybody, but like, holy shit, like, it reminds me of a king back in medieval England. Guy invited the crown prince to dinner and then stabbed his eyes with red hot coal. He was blind and therefore he couldn't be. That is some shit he would do, honestly. I mean, that's like, in New York, we got a fucking goat running for mayor right now, Zoran Mamdani. I was injecting that cobium into my veins when he won the nominee, hoping for New York that they get him. Dude, Trump is literally like, he's like, I must deport him. I must deport him so that he can't like, that's like gonna become Trump's new favorite thing, is just deporting people. He's talking about deporting American citizens because he doesn't like them. Sorry, I had to itch my face. And there's like the issue that, like, what, there was that like concert from I think the band was called like Kneecaps or something, where they were screaming at their concert about like fuck Israel, and like I think they screamed like death to the IDF or something, and Trump has literally revoked citizenship for those performers. So they, like, he's revoked their visas. They're not able to enter the US anymore, which is like, they weren't even on American soil when they did it, for one. I'm pretty positive they weren't even, I think they were in Europe. But like, for one, no, that's like, for example, like musicians aren't going to want to come to America anymore, and that's like a huge like tourism thing for us. Like, for example, Bad Bunny has they aired it on the BBC. Okay, Bad Bunny, like one of the most popular like Latino artists, he's not touring in America. Like, he actively is refusing it, even though he's one of the most popular artists right now. And like, I feel like, on one hand, as someone who used to live in Texas, which has like a large like Latino population, like I really feel for them because I know how excited they were every time he would come to town. But also, like, yeah, he's not gonna freaking tour, because if he toured, they would just, like, the fucking immigration trucks would just be stationed outside that goddamn stadium, you know? Like, they would turn it into a roundup, basically. Because that's, like, they literally were camping outside the fucking Dodgers game, bro. Like, they're camping outside of, like, sports games and stuff. Also, like, deporting Elon Musk, that's not gonna happen because, like, ultimately, okay, for one, here's the thing. I actually knew Trump and Elon were gonna break up. And I knew as soon as when a certain thing happened that they were gonna break up. So I was not shocked like a lot of people were when they split up. It was really funny that they did at the start of Pride Month, but I knew they were gonna split up when, so basically, obviously Elon funded a lot of Trump's campaign, which is why they were close. I knew it was Jover when what happened was Wisconsin was doing a race for their like state Supreme Court, and Elon wanted to prove that he has like political power, so he went and tried to help get the Republican candidate to win. And he went there and he literally was like offering to pay people to vote for the guy, which was just like insane. But because Elon Musk is so fucking unlikable, he actually hurt the guy's polling when he showed up. He actually hurt his polling because people fucking hate Elon Musk because he's like a charisma black hole. And because of it, the guy lost. And I knew as soon as that happened, oh, they're gonna break up, because as mentioned, there's nothing Trump hates more than a fucking loser. Like, despite what people think, like, ain't that illegal? It is, but for one, when you're rich, you can do whatever you want in America. Two, as long as you phrase it in a specific way, you can be like, I didn't technically, you know, have always hated Elon. Yeah. Like, there's, that's, dude, it's so, Honestly, I think it's fucked up that he's taking out the fact that his daddy didn't love him on us. You know, like, his daddy didn't love him, so now he's desperate to make as many people as he can love him and give him attention nonstop. And I really wish that we didn't have to suffer the consequences of that, and he could have just been like every other billionaire Nepo baby and just kept his fucking mouth shut, you know? Like, lobbying should be illegal, but politicians should be politicians, yeah. That's why it's like funny when I see people, for example, say that Trump hates like Erdogan or Putin or Xi Jinping or I forgot this one other country name. People think that he hates them because like China, for example, China will become the most dominant country. China already is the most dominant country, like they are. But, you know, we're still, like, desperately death-gripping the number 1 position as much as we can. Putin, you know, Russia, fuck Russia, you know, I feel my heart goes out to Ukraine, you know. And honestly, any of the former USSR countries who were, like, that FNAF meme where, you know, like, the two are fighting and you're sitting there like, ooh, like, I know that's probably how Poland feels right now because they know if they get Ukraine, like, they're not gonna stop. Erdogan is Erdogan, you know. It's like, the thing is, Trump doesn't like them in the sense that they're his opponents, but he likes them because they're like political strongmen, you know? Like, they throw down the hammer and do whatever the fuck they want. They twist the arm to do whatever they want, like, and he loves that about them. Same with Kim Jong-un, like, he loves that about them. There's nothing Trump hates more than someone he considers, like, a piss baby. That's why, like, Trump didn't like Boris Johnson. Even though Trump and, Boris were, like, rather similar in their goals, Boris has no aura. Boris is, like, a piss baby, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that. You mean to say that Trump likes big, dominant men in powerful positions? Unironic, yes. Yes, he doesn't like subby men. He likes stereotypical, like, 80s action movie portrayals of men. And you can even tell when you see the way, like, he posts about himself. Like, he posts about himself like he's, God, like, he's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger character, you know? Like, he loves that kind of stuff. Trump is a bottom. I think so. Wouldn't let someone, but the thing is, Trump doesn't like that they're his opponents, but he respects them as people. And he likes that about them because Trump hates what he considers to be weak men. That's why Trump hates his sons. That's why Trump despises Donald Trump Jr. because his kid is a fucking weak boy cokehead, you know? Like, that's why he's fucking obsessed with North Korea. He thinks, exactly, why do you I mean, look at Trump, you know, and Charles. That's diabolical. That's diabolical. But, I mean, it's true. Like, for example, a perfect thing I could say is the military parade that Trump did for his birthday. He did that because he wanted to do the, like, military strongman shit that, like, other countries do. And for one, it looked dog shit. I hope that it was like soldiers' way of kind of protesting it, of like walking purposefully dog shit, you know? The squeaky tank, yeah, the guy just holding a drone. Like, I think a lot of them were purposefully doing it, honestly. They did it bad on purpose. Yeah, I had a feeling that's what it was. But God, it was so, like, he was seething because and the thing too about Trump that makes him interesting is that Trump is desperate for, like, he's desperate to be seen as powerful, but he's also, if you notice, Trump is a desperate to be liked person. And the thing is, is he will occasionally do some like populist shit. Like, for example, banning TikTok and then being like last second be like, oh, I'm actually saving TikTok, haha, wow, because he likes when people glaze him. Like, he really, I truly think that Donnie doesn't give a fuck about most, for example, like abortion. If you look back on interviews of him, he doesn't give a fuck about he supported abortion. He doesn't give a fuck about abortion. Like, he doesn't care. Literally, like, there's an interview from him years ago where they asked him about the Iraq war, and he was like, how he was basically like, how come that we can go into other nations and destroy them and then be shocked that people hate us, you know? What does that make us different from Russia and stuff? And that was like, you're not supposed to say that, you know? Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he really doesn't have these opinions. He just does them because that's what his glazers like. That's what's funny, like, because sometimes he kind of messes up and like says something that's like, for example, he didn't give a fuck about trans people, really. Like, he just didn't care. He was, like, he did not give a shit. And then they told him, like, oh, you'll be popular with conservatives if you give a shit. So he was like, ah, I guess I care. But, like, he didn't give a fuck. Like, he did not give a single shit. Does Trump watch? Your bully kisses you in front of everyone, enemies to lovers, dominant roleplay, female for everyone. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. If the two was in front of the page, which one does he watch first? Probably Little Dark Age at it. I feel like Trump also partly wanted to stop the TikTok ban because he was like, I can't have my Aura Farm edits of myself get taken down. Bombing of Iraq a week ago, classic Trump. Dude, and it's so funny too because like that interview of where basically he got them to like agree, so to speak, to a ceasefire, but basically like they didn't really agree to a ceasefire, but he basically told everyone that he got a ceasefire. When they immediately started bombing each other again, and they asked him, and he was like, I'm pissed at Israel right now because Israel's supposed to do what the fuck I want. And he literally was like, we got two countries who've been fighting and both of them don't know what the fuck they're doing. And like, you're not supposed to say that as the president. Like, you're not supposed to say that as the president, you know? Honestly, yeah. Oh, he's not, I mean, to be fair, Iraq knows what they're doing. Iraq knows what they're doing. It's called they want to get fucking rid of Israel, which most countries want to do. Because, you know, Israel has, you know, has a track record of absolutely making every country around its life miserable. But Israel is just like, I think Israel is struggling to decide who they want to genocide first. Like, they're so greedy, they can't even like, they're like, we just have to, like, if anyone says anything mean to us, like, we have to, you know. Survived 2 assassinations. Okay, to be fair, technically only 1 because the other guy didn't even get to him. Like, they got to him, but like the other guy shot at the golf course, but nothing actually, like, he was never in real danger about that. The first one, yeah, the guy had rip. Yes. There are plenty of Israelis who do not support their government. And I really feel for those people. There have, like, despite what people think, there have been protests against Netanyahu and against the Israeli government in Israel. I do feel bad for those who live in Israel who realized what their government was actually doing and have been trying to break out of basically years of brainwashing. It's really unfortunate. I don't think every Israeli should be punished for the acts, you know, but sadly there are a lot of people in Israel who refuse to look past the propaganda and the brainwashing, but there are plenty who have, and I do pity them, and I hope they can get somewhere safe. And, you know, yeah. bad for them and even the government. But at one point, what do? Do you the thing is, Israel only lives because of America. That's the thing. Like, that's literally it. Honestly, in my opinion is that Israel, for one, ask a lot of Israelis where they were born, and a lot of them aren't gonna say Israel. There's people who are like, I'm Israeli, and they fucking lived in Brooklyn most of their life, you know? Personally, I think it is a complicated situation in a lot of senses, but ultimately, you can't take over someone's territory and claim it's yours just because the British told you you could, and then expect the people in the region to just be okay with that. And even when the Palestinians originally welcomed them with open arms, what did they do? They turned around and did this to them, you know? Like, it's not just October 7th, there was the Nakba, there was all that stuff, you know? Like, Israel, sadly, is built on a lot of violence, despite their claims. As long as most of them hold government positions, you're kind of in a deadlock, then what? I mean, I don't feel bad for the government. I think fuck the government. And I also don't feel bad for a lot of them, because if you participate in the IDF and the killing and displacement of innocent people, and you vote for those people and you support those people, then like, yeah, fuck you, you know? I do think there are innocents in Israel, but there are a lot of non-innocents who are complacent or actively participate in heinous war crimes. Literally, you could literally watch street interviews of Israeli people, like, and some of them just straight up refer to Palestinians as like subhuman. Like, the education that they received is so deeply Islamophobic. Yeah, but to fight against the government, you have to fight against the people holding power in place. Well, yeah, what do you think Americans have been trying to do? What do you think Americans have been trying to fucking do? Do you think Americans support Israel? Most Americans don't. Like, to fight against them, you need a movement that's pretty anti-Semitic. I disagree, because I think most people are smart enough to realize that you can despise Israel and not be against Jewish people, because Jewish people do not represent Israel. Like, there are more Jews in New York than there are in Israel. You know? Like, Israel is not a representation of Jewish people, and yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, okay, here's the thing, though, I have to mention. The reality of fighting with violence is that, for one, I don't think inherently fighting for violence makes you anti-Semitic or whatever group you're fighting against. However, the reality is that when, for example, an example of Palestinian people, if you have tried every other method and it hasn't worked, and you just watch your fucking 12-year-old sibling get murdered, what other options are you gonna do, you know? And the reality is, peaceful has never worked. And despite what people think, it will never work, because people always bring up Martin Luther King, which is really unfortunate, because people don't realize, for one, Martin Luther King was not necessarily explicitly anti-violence, because he understood where violence came from, because violence is the voice of the unheard. Violence is done from people who have tried everything else, and they feel that violence is their only option left. And the reality is, like, for example, the civil rights movement didn't happen because Martin Luther King gave a speech. It happened because he got assassinated and people were like, fuck it. You know? That's why the civil rights happened. It didn't happen because he gave a speech about we have dreams. No, it happened because he was murdered because he was considered a terrorist by the government. And then people revolted, basically. And then they had to give in. That's what has always happened. Think of even just as something like think of the American Revolution, the French Revolution. Ultimately, people try, and that's why I cannot blame them for what they do. Do I think, for example, like, it is unfortunate? I don't approve attacking civilians in either situation. I don't, because they're civilians. However, one side has done significantly more war crimes than the other, and one side's population is significantly underage compared to the other, as a huge chunk of Palestinians are not even adults, you know? Yeah, well, for example, like, what you say there is true in the sense that both sides need a gun. For example, there's the concept of Iran having nukes. Ultimately, I support nuclear proliferation because obviously, like, I don't think anybody should have nukes. I'm anti-war. However, I completely understand why places like Iran would want nukes, because the reality is the option is either you have a nuke and you have a way to be able to protect yourself, or you don't have a nuke and those who do have nukes push you around. You know? If I was a country that didn't have them and all the other big dogs did and used that as their ultimate trump card in negotiating, I would kind of want to get a nuke, you know? Like, I would kind of want to get one because they can't push you around as much when you have one, you know? It's sort of that situation. The argument on, I get the concept of no options left, in my opinion, just makes the situation worse. Like, violence is a goal of strategy, but I mean, well, what else can they do, though? Especially in the case of the Palestinians, what could they have done? You know, like, what could they have done? They had been massacred for 60 years and nobody cared. It's just finally when October 7th got national light on it, but it had been going on for much longer. You know, what else could they have done? And frankly, it's kind of the situation of, I think, hey, if you kill a guy for fighting for emancipation, you're just gonna radicalize 5 of his buddies to pick up weapons, you know? Like, and ultimately the reality, though, is, you gotta understand, is that there is no situation where both parties can... Oh, it is. Killing civilians is fucked. I don't support killing civilians either way. It's just the reality is also, good luck being American. Yeah, thank you. Have fun at the gym. Killing civilians, I don't agree with on either, no matter the situation, because they're civilians. The reality is, though, is that most Palestinians that have been killed have been civilians. A lot of Israelis killed have been IDF soldiers. There's also the reality that, what's it called? My brain forgot what I was gonna say. I think it's a matter of, a lot of people don't understand that this isn't just about October 7th. A lot of people think it is. It's not about hostages. It's not about any of that, because multiple times Palestine was like, we will give you the hostages if you just stop, and Israel refused over and over. It's not about that. Israel took this as a public... Israel's goal is to genocide. Israel's goal is extinction, and they have been open about that is their goal. So it is, you might not agree with the violent methods being taken by the Palestinians, but I for one think they've hit their limit, and I feel like many people in their situation would result to similar things. But the reality is that they don't have a choice because Israel wants them gone. And they have said they want them gone. And that is why they are starving them. That is why they are currently basically trying to gather them all into one fucking point where they can starve them. That is why they are destroying aid trucks. That is why they are purposely targeting hospitals, things of that sort. Like, it's not about, like, what I don't agree with October 7. I don't think October 7 was good. I don't think they should have gone for a civilian event. I don't think they should have. But at the end of the day, it's not really about that event anymore. And a lot of people ignore the fact that Israel bombed and slaughtered people in the height of Ramadan at mosques. And Israel did the Nakba, and Israel did so much to them, but the one time they do it back, it becomes a global spectacle. You know, like, I'm not saying that either side is correct for it. It's just, you know, you can understand how, like, frustrating that could be, that, like, the one time you truly hit back, the global spotlight is on you and they're making you out to be the bad guy, lying about serious sexual violence occurring when you literally have fucking video footage of Israelis chanting about how they should, you know, assault Palestinians in prison, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just crazy, the double standard. Israel's a clear bad guys as well as isn't clear. Great evil will spawn thousands of lesser evils. It highlights the discrepancy of how people judge actors in the conflict. Yeah, I get the logic of what they're doing. I think my problem is I can see how it can make the situation better, I guess. Feels like panic firing when you're scared. I mean, what else are they gonna... It's just the thing, though, of, like, we can see from the angle of what if they do... But the thing is, they tried to negotiate for ceasefires many times. They tried. They tried to negotiate. They tried to go the government way. They tried to go the voting way. Like, they did. And at this point, they're just sort of fighting for survival. And also, you gotta think the fact that they're severely they don't have as, like, much of an arsenal as, like, Israel does as well. And like I said, a huge population of those in Gaza are literally teenagers, you know, going against trained soldiers, like, you know, resources. Yeah, it's ultimately, I think as well, the reality is that this conflict would not have gone as long if it wasn't for America. And America, the blood of the Palestinians is also on America's hands. It is also on a lot of Europe's hands as well, but especially America, because for example, if you guys don't know, the reason Israel has, like, free healthcare and shit like that is because America pays for it. You know? Like, we pay for their arsenal. We are the only reason they have the resources to be able to continue this conflict. If we stopped right now, they would not be able to continue, you know? They don't build tunnels under the streets because they're callous with civilian casualties. There's just nowhere else to maneuver. Yeah, and also, for example, when Israel, like, posted about how they bombed Iran, and they, like, did a snipe in a fucking apartment building for someone they said was an official, and they were like, haha, see how talented we are. And it's like, okay, if you can do that, then why, when you were trying to quote-unquote assassinate a Hamas leader, did you level a whole apartment block? If you can do it so precise, you know? Like, they kind of show themselves that it's never been about Hamas. It's never been about that. In fact, Israeli citizens have even said they feel less safe because, like, the war, like, there's plenty of Israelis who want it to end, you know? more fuel for the fire to fight back, and they got a stronger reason to attack harder. I guess it's pretty much their last stand, I guess, where they go out. Yeah, it is. Because what else are they gonna do? Sit by and quietly get genocided? You know? That's the thing. Like, the only reason that, like, a lot of Palestinians didn't even like Hamas, but they saw them as the only thing they had, at least, to kind of fight for them. And at this point, it's, do they just sit there and go quietly, or do they try to get people to understand their plight, you know? Like, that they've been trying for like 100 years at this point, you know? Like, this isn't a new conflict, it's just we only started to care now. And we have religious soldiers of Israel get welfare and they don't need to hold jobs, they can afford this because they don't make, exactly. Also, the thing too is that people, I've talked about this with Boyfie, if I had to compare this conflict in a similar sense to another, this conflict to me, I think, will go down as historic as like Vietnam, in terms of this is a conflict, like how Vietnam was so historic in the sense that Vietnam was the first time we got live footage of what was happening, and we got pictures and the people got to see what was happening. That's kind of what's happening here, where people are getting to see what is happening firsthand. And the reality too is a lot of this stuff has happened many times. It's also currently still happening in other parts of the world. You know, there are other people who are being genocided as well, not just them. But this is the first time, like, no one ever got to hear the voices of those in Palestine, you know? Nobody ever got to see what it was like, you know? Like, I think of that video that went viral of the guy holding the bag with the body in it, and he was struggling, and someone said, "Is that heavy? Do you need help?" And he said, "He's not heavy, he's my brother." You know, it's seeing that kind of stuff. Yep, Sudan, Congo, Uganda, the Tibet, with the Muslims, with the Uyghur Muslims in China who are being put in basically concentration camps. In America, you have people, like, basically any Latino person being sent to fucking Guantanamo Bay, where they are putting them in very similar conditions, you know? Like, it's happening all over, but, you know, it's about getting your voice out there. That's the hard part. And I think that's what's been so... That's... If Palestine wasn't able to do that, I think this conflict would have ended a lot sooner, and that I think the Palestinians would have ended a lot sooner. But because they have been able to get their cause out there, there's been a lot of people who have been like, oh, wait, oh, this is fucked up, you know, like, oh shit, you know, like, people didn't, I think also a lot of people just don't understand how horrific war is. As, like, it seems like something so easy to think of, like, of course war is horrific, but it's a different thing to see video of a man in Gaza trying to perform surgery on children, and then the next child put on the table is his own, and he can't do anything. You know, it's different to see something like that than just think, oh yeah, war. Because I think like when a lot of people think of war, they think of soldier versus soldier. They don't think about civilians. And that's why the reality is one side has lost significantly more civilians than the other. And that's, in my opinion, anytime you target civilians is... I don't... And that is one thing that Israel has done from the start that I think, even before I knew, learned of Palestinian history and their history of emancipation, because I didn't know, I didn't focus on Middle Eastern studies and things like that at my school. But when I learned of, even just after October, seeing the civilian targets was like, oh, because at first, like, I think that's why everyone who didn't know about the history had a knee-jerk reaction, because you just saw a bunch of civilians, you know. But then Israel was like, okay, we lost some civilians, therefore we're gonna take all of yours, basically, which is like, oh, you know. I don't talk about it a lot, but I studied military conflicts most of my life. I'm a subject matter expert, and not just dry tactics and dates, but in an anthropological sense, how it's everyday people. Yeah, like, it's so, you're right, this one is different. Yeah, it's kind of insane how public this one has been, in that the whole world is just watching. But at the same time, it feels like people aren't listening, you know? Like, and the sad thing is that so many Americans have been trying, like, we've been trying to get our government to stop. We have been. But the reality is that, like, the groups that are with attachments to Israel, like AIPAC and all that stuff, are huge funders and lobbyists of our politicians. And it's really unfortunate that, you know, a lot of us have been trying, and it's gotten to the point now where they're like threatening to deport even Americans who protest for Palestine and things like that. And that's another thing too, is I think I saw I watched an interview with what's his name? He's like an iconic journalist, and I can't believe I forgot his fucking name. Hold on, give me a second, because like this guy is goated, and I will gladly recommend his work to everybody. What is his name? I can't believe I forgot his name, because he's a fucking goat. Shit, where is it? Oh my god, where is it? Oh, Chris Hedges. Especially if you have any interest in Middle Eastern conflicts, Chris Hedges is an amazing journalist. I watched an interview of him recently, and he has been on the ground in Palestine. He speaks Arabic. He has been down with the people. One thing he said that was just so haunting to me was that in the future, everyone will pretend that they saw this differently. Just like Vietnam, just like where in 10 years, people are gonna pretend that they supported Palestine, because it's not looking good for them. And if I'm not religious, but like I pray that it doesn't go in that way, but it looks like it is. When that happens, people one day are gonna pretend that they were always on the quote right side. Because people are going to see the effects of their brutality, and you can't let them pretend that they always were on the right side, you know? That's one thing America loves to do. America loves to participate, to destroy nations, and then pretend that we have no idea. Oh my god, that's so horrible that it happened. Looks to like every South American country, you know. Israel, western side of the conflict, is inherently pro-fascism. That Ireland stands with Palestine tells you all you need to know. Yeah, you can't even get people to see fascism here at home, though. It's so cynical. Yeah, always remember history is won by the exactly. And the thing is that, for example, Trump is a horrible piece of shit. Yeah, he is a horrible piece of shit. That controversial opinion, Trump bad, you know, like, yeah, duh, obviously. However, something that, as someone who knows politics really disturbs me, that I don't think a lot of even liberals have come to understand, is that this doesn't, like, Trump is not the core of the problem. And that even if, you know, let's just say that guy wasn't slightly off to the right a couple months ago, it wouldn't have changed a thing, in my opinion, because the reality is that Trump, the core problem with him is fascism. That is not going away with him. In fact, all he did was basically champion it through. And in fact, I think Trump is one of the better options we could have got, in the sense that Trump is a fucking idiot. He's stupid. He's a stupid man when it comes to anything political. He is not an intellectual in that sense. However, there will be people, yep, Stephen Miller, Peter Thiel, there will be people who are fascists like him, who are intelligent, who know how to stand there and give a nice speech in the way that Obama did and make everybody pearl clutch and be like, wow, he's so charismatic. There will be guys that come along. And the thing is, as long as they package it in I'm a refined, sophisticated, charismatic intellectual, Trump has already brashed through a lot of these beliefs into the mainstream, that they will be able to be elected. Because people will be like, well, at least he's not outlandish, you know? Like, that's the difference, is that, like, Trump is just brazen. That's why they keep him, because he brazes through like a bull, and in the process normalizes a lot of fascist shit. And then it makes a perfect opportunity for some fucking fascist in a nice little suit to come along and be like, aha, I'm not like him. I'm refined, sophisticated. And Americans are gonna eat that shit up. Why? Because Americans are stupid. Terrified they will replace him with a halfway. Yeah, and they will. They will. Like, I even held the opinion that, like, I was terrified when I saw people being like, oh, Ron DeSantis could win over Trump in the primary. He wouldn't have. But I was like, that's not a good thing, because Ron DeSantis is smarter than him. But as equally, like, horrific in terms of his character, you know? Like, that's a thing I don't think a lot of people have realized, and I think because that's a really scary thing to realize, because everyone wants to think that it's gonna be over once, oh, he can't run again, I mean, knock on wood. After him, it's over. It's not over. It's not over. It's far from over. It's just started, you know? And that's, like, I don't want to sound like a doomer and like a fear-mongerer, but, you know, there was the iconic quote of, fascism will arrive to America wrapped in an American flag holding a Bible. And it's true, because that's what happened. Like, we are speedrunning to Christo-fascism, which is like, uh-oh. You know, for everybody. Like, even if you are like a cishet Christian guy, it's gonna fuck you over too. That's what I think a lot of people don't realize too. Shortly after now, see, I was like 3 months old when 9/11 happened. But 9/11 did cause a huge cultural shift in. For one, 9/11 has made it to where Islamophobia is basically like, you can get away as an American doing Islamophobic shit. Like, it's not seen even as bad as, like, for something that was like, obviously, like, and some, you know, it's homophobia and transphobia and misogyny are way more normalized now than they were even a couple years ago, but you could still, like, kind of get in trouble in some places for saying stuff like that, but Islamophobia runs pretty rampant in this country ever since 9/11. Like, you can get away with some heinous shit against people from the Middle East just because, oh, 9/11 happened, basically. Bush literally saying, yeah, we had God on our side. Yeah, I mean, even like look at the like fucking national anthem, you know, like God, for a country based on religious freedoms, you know, we're very aggressively pro-Christian only. Oh, thank you, Fancy Hamburger, for the follow. They were able to demonize Obama and yeah, dude, when they said that Obama was a Muslim immigrant, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, a lot of people forget about that. A lot of people forget about the birtherism conspiracies for Obama, where they were like demanding his birth certificate. Because, yeah, his middle name was Hussein. Because Obama's middle name is Hussein, conservatives at the time during his first run, actually Donald Trump was the one who really popularized it after the initial election and brought it back, was that he was actually like a Muslim immigrant and therefore he couldn't run for president because he wasn't an American citizen. All because his middle name was Hussein. Literally, like, that was it. And that's why like Americans were demanding his birth certificate. Like, what is Obama's second name? Dude, it was like, and it's, God, like they're doing the same shit to Zoran Mamdani right now because he's a brown man becoming possibly the mayor of New York City. Dude, they're literally talking about how, I have unironically seen American politicians be like, they said that they would never forget after 9/11. Now they're about to elect a Muslim as mayor. It's like, what the fuck correlation does that have? I didn't expect you to go live. I got stir crazy and said fuck it. I remember, do you remember what his response was? Probably not, because I was like 10. Actually, I was probably more like 5 or 6, honestly, but I would not be... God, that was just... I totally forgot about the Obama birtherism. That was... Because, like, I was too young at the time. Like, I started caring about politics, like, the first Trump administration. Like, COVID is when I got into it. But I was, like, a little shit baby when Obama was running. So, I don't have the same knowledge as, like, Pumpkin does. He played the clip from the... to be fair, God, you know what makes me sad? I've heard people say, like, we need another Obama in terms of, like, charisma and vibes for the Democrats, which, like, okay, that's why Bernie threw himself under your ticket, bro, because he was that, and you didn't want him. Obama, I will admit, of all the Democrats, Obama's the one that gets me the most lipped up. Like, I will admit, if when I'm watching the DNC, if Obama gives a speech, not gonna lie, I have to catch myself because I get a little lipped up and I'm like, I get kind of excited and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, wait, you did war crimes? Like, he's a really good speaker. That's... So sometimes lipped up, yeah. I take off even though I'm wearing my leftist hat, sometimes I get a little lipped up, and I feel the we're gonna break the glass ceiling, Pokemon go to the polls. I feel that kind of like coming back into my veins, and I have to remind myself, like, Obama's a war criminal. Doesn't matter. Just bricked up. No. I don't get bricked up for Obama. I get bricked up for the concept of free public transit throughout the country. If you want to see me get bricked up, talk about us getting fucking speed rail throughout the country, and I will fucking bust. Dude, like, oh my god, fuck, we love public transport. Yeah, like, no, oh, like, Listen, obviously every country has their problems. China has a lot of them. However, God, when I see fucking pictures of the fucking rail network in China, I feel like that one picture, that one meme of Wolverine on the bed lovingly looking at the photo, like that's what I feel like whenever I see that fucking picture of their public rail system in China. I'm like, oh fuck, we could have had it. We could have had it all. Like, fuck. Like, dude, if I ever get to go to Japan, which I want eventually because, like, I am a weeb, I'm gonna goon so hard over the public transport. Like, I fucking love public transport so much. Dude, they've been trying to build one in Texas for 84 years, but they won't because a couple of bumfucks in the middle of nowhere, like, you can't go through my land. I'm sorry, maybe my most, like, controversial, not very leftist opinion, I don't know. Actually, I think it is kind of leftist. I'm sorry, but, like, if it's for the greater good and you live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere on your like, I'm sorry, but, like, we have to do it. I'm sorry, but like eminent domain on you, we have to do it. Like I'm not going to let 5 people ruin high-speed rail in this country, you know? Like, I'm sorry, that's not very like it's not very like pro-citizen possibly of me, but I'm just like, fuck man, like they've been trying so hard to get, like, I mean, like they get paid for it. They basically buy their property over my guns and dead body. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, why is fucking Billy Bob in the middle of nowhere cucking us from high-speed rail because he doesn't want a train to go through his fucking land, even though he owns 20 acres and doesn't use half of it? Like, I'm sorry. You have to drive 4 hours to get to a Walmart. Don't fucking talk. I'm sorry, that's like my that drives me, dude. I literally wrote a whole paper in college, like analyzing the fucking issue of bullet trains in Texas and how, like, God, I love fucking public transport so much. Like, my boyfriend made fun of me because then I lived back in the city back in Texas for when I did school. I lived like pretty close to like the heart of the big city, and so I don't have a license, and like they had like trams that you could ride to get to downtown. Dude, when I rode that for the first time, I literally was like giddy texting my boyfriend. Like, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, God, like, I was like, this is so awesome. Thank you, Chrissy. My history teacher admitted to wanting to kill his brother so he could inherit the family house because it was so close to high-speed rail in the UK. It was for the whole class. Honestly, I feel like that's kind of like average history teacher behavior to just do that. I feel like that's kind of average history teacher to admit some shit like that and just casually just be like, anyways. It's never like some guy's farmhouse at Peefalville. It's empty, useless dirt land 99% of the time. Exactly. And they're like, but it's communism to have free buses. like fucking Zoran in New York who's trying to make bus fare free, and they're like, he's a communist for wanting free buses. He's a communist because he wants state-run grocery stores and because he wants to give new parents a free bassinet when they have a child. Like, free my people from the shackles of capitalism, truly. It has rotted the brains of my fellow Americans to such a detriment that Americans think that Bernie Sanders is the reincarnation of Mao Zedong. Like, literally, like... And he's like the most bog standard European or Australian politician, you know? And they're like, he is the reincarnation of Mao. He will ruin our country. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I saw people like, dude, the Islamophobia in America is so crazy because like people were freaking out over a video of Zoran like giving an interview where he was eating like a food truck, and he was eating like rice that he ordered from like a halal food truck, and he was using his hands, and they were like, oh my god, how uncivilized. And I'm like, I don't want to hear any fucking American say that eating rice with your hands is uncivilized when I have seen what a bunch of fucking Texans do at a barbecue or crawfish boil. You hear me? Like, I do not want to hear it. Like, infinitely messier, infinitely like don't want to hear it. Like, shut up. Just shut up. Like, come on, shut up, you know? The baby should be working for that basket. Nothing. They Americans expect babies to be born like fucking animals and come fresh out of the womb and immediately get up and be like, all right, mother, I shall gather berries. Cheetos and greasy chicken wings are fine, but rice, literally. And like, he was, it's literally just Islamophobia. Like, that's literally it. That's all it is. It's so insane to me how normalized it. I mean, like, they, for example, they're calling him they're saying that he's anti-Semitic and he wants to like kill the Jews in New York City just because he supports Palestine. And I'm like, he literally has campaigned with like multiple like very prominent Jewish leaders in the city. What the fuck do you mean? Like, no, he just doesn't like what Israel's doing. That doesn't make him anti-Semitic, you know? Put that hammer in the baby's hands and get to work. Yeah, like the same energy as your cousin at 5 jobs at the age 30. Dude, literally, like, America is so funny because America will be like, we don't support abortion because we're pro-life and life begins at conception. Also, your baby is born and you're in poverty. Fuck you, die, eat your baby. Like, that's literally, like, that's why I try to tell people, like, America's view on abortion is not about loving babies, it's about hating women, because if you fucking have your baby and you're in shit conditions, America will just be like, fuck you, eat your baby for survival. like, America will literally go fucking modest proposal style a la Ireland on you and just be like, fuck you. Fuck you and that poor ass baby. Like, are you poor? Don't have sex. Literally, are you poor? Don't have sex ever. Was it done without your consent? Well, that's your fault, you know, like, that's literally what they do. I mean, for example, in America, we just had a dead woman used as an incubator for a baby. Like, that happened. Like, a woman, and I believe it was Georgia, literally was pronounced like brain dead, and she was pregnant, and the family wanted her taken off life support because she was like brain dead. She was dead, you know. And what did the government do? The government kept her so that she could give birth to the baby without the family's consent and used her as a fucking incubator. And guess what? The baby was born with a fuck ton of health problems. Why? Because she's dead, you know. Horror scenario from the Ham. Literally, yeah, Death Stranding shit, yes. They literally used a dead woman because they were like, it's not, the baby shouldn't die. Okay, this is a possible controversy. My opinion, it doesn't fucking matter till that little shit is out of the pussy, okay? Like, do I think if you're like pronounced baby bump per se that like you should get an abortion unless it's like a medical necessity? Not really, just because like that's like, if it's like right about the pop, but that doesn't happen. Like, women aren't getting abortions when they're about the pop. That doesn't happen. Literally, until that little shit comes out and breathes air, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, okay? Like, the option is between the woman who is currently living and breathing or the fucking parasite in her, okay? Until the parasite comes out and breathes air and becomes a human, I don't care. Like, throw that baby in the... Literally, like, I don't care. Also, the whole thing, too, is, like, that baby's gonna be fucked up now because it was feeding off of a dead woman. Like... thing though is it doesn't. It's a fucking bait. Like that's my, like, the thing too is like with the abortion debate, any woman who gets to the point where she's like visibly pregnant, the only time they're getting an abortion is because that baby is either dead or it wants to kill them. Because sometimes the babies will decide that they just want to kill you and you have to get rid of it or you're going to die. Like, women don't get abortions in the last trimester because they just randomly decide they don't want to have a baby anymore. Like, that doesn't happen, you know? But people like to act like it does. But honestly, you know, women who do typically reach that point, it's because they have like mental health, typically, issues. I feel like we're getting close to blaming the mom of the death of the fetus that gets strangled by a cord. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the 10 bits. Thank you. Yeah, even in ancient Judaism, they practice saving. Exactly. And I agree. It's, well, in Texas, it's, I believe it's considered if you're suspected of having like forcibly induced an abortion, I believe it, in like, or a miscarriage, it can count as murder. I believe there has been a woman charged for murder for having a miscarriage. Also in Texas, they literally made a hotline where you could report someone you suspect of having an abortion, and if they verify and find out it's true, they were gonna give you $10,000. Like, they literally established a fucking hit list for pregnant women who wanted to get abortions. Like, because here's my thing. If it was really about kids, we would have free school lunches. We would have, you know, better healthcare that ensures that women don't have complications in birth. We would have better schooling for our children. We would have free daycare. We would have better incomes so that parents can actually survive potentially on a one-parent income and have someone stay home with the kids. But like, no, because we don't care about them once they're born. Because once they're born, it's whatever, you know? We just care about them because it's a way to control women and punish women, because once the baby is born, they don't care. Like, they don't care what happens to the baby once they're born. Literally half of them are anti-vaxxers. Like, they don't care. Republican lawmaker that almost died because the doctors were afraid of going to jail and she blamed Democrats. Yeah, literally, it's insane. You're the one who was playing Silent Hill, right? Yeah. I haven't gotten to play it yet because I haven't gotten to stream it a little bit because I was having a lot of medical stuff, but it should be pretty good. I did some tweaking on my computer and with some settings off stream, so hopefully when we do, it should be good. But I'm preparing to eventually get my, oh, sorry, I had to itch my face, get my wisdom teeth removed, and they're just causing a lot of problems, so I'll be fine. Like, most of the pain is kind of over. It's just a matter of like when insurance decides that my little serfdom self deserves my surgery. I have to go to the insurance and be like, please, me lord, please, me lord, may I get my wisdom surgery? Like, that's basically what I have to do. Let the peasant have dental surgery as a treat. Yeah, I do Silent. Yes, I've started Silent Hill. I will say, what's it called? I did buy a little more lighthearted subject because I didn't expect us to talk about politics for that long, but I love talking about politics, so I had to get some of it out of my system. I did buy some games. I bought some games from the summer. The summer sale thingy. Yeah, the summer sale. I did buy some games. No, that's totally fine. I will mention from what I kind of plan to do is I'm a political science major and I plan to get a PhD in it, so it's pretty integral for me. I'm not doing it yet because like I still got some medical stuff. I plan on Mondays after we finish up our starter thing I plan on Mondays to have that be like my stream where I get like my political stuff really out of my system, you know? so that later in the week we can just like chill and play games and stuff. It's just because I haven't been able to stream in like 2 weeks. Did you get Peak? I actually didn't know anything about that game and didn't know what the fuck I literally like I saw Shido playing it with Chi with his girl, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cute. And then someone was like, oh, he said like he wanted to play it, and I was like, I have no fucking clue what that is. Shida said he wants to play it with me, you, and Aki. So I'll see about it. I didn't know about it. I felt like such a boomer. I was asking him, I was like, is it free, Papa? I don't know much about it. As a streamer, you gotta be careful. Yeah, I usually if people start saying sketch stuff, I start being like, okay, you know, like I try to redirect the conversation. There are certain things that I will just like hide the message, give a warning in case they didn't mean it like that, you know. But say as no, I was just talking about, yeah. I completely understand saying no politics, because like, especially if you don't know, it can be really, like, even as myself, as someone who knows, sometimes conversations can be tricky because I'm not an expert in everything, you know? Like, I know American really well. Outside, you know, my studies are domestic terrorism, you know? But like, you know, outside of stuff like that, I'm like, you know, we have to play it, Vita. I literally was like, I felt so old. I was asking him, like, Shida, I was like, is it free? Because I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, to be fair, I've gotten to know more South American, or like South, yeah, and like Middle Eastern, and I've tried to get into like somewhere like Southeast Asia, East Asia. It's just because my focus was on domestic terrorism, a lot of the classes I took had an American focus, but I did take some international classes. It's a game called Peak, and I don't really know like much about it. I guess it looks like it kind of looks like a not as ragey version of the what's it called? The game where you're in the barrel with the hammer and you're having to climb. It kind of looks like a co-op, less ragey version of that. Getting over it. Yeah. That's like the vibe it gives me. Like, it seems like, I guess the whole point of the game is you just gotta climb as far as you can with like your friends, seems to be it. Like, it's good. Yeah, Peak. I mean, people have said Peak is Peak. Yeah, I know literally nothing about it. I've seen, like, I saw Shido and his girl playing some of it, and it did look pretty cute. And I saw some clips on Twitter, because I know it has like prox chat, which I love games that have prox chat. So like people falling and you just hear the screaming slowly get further away and stuff like that. That I thought was really funny. I just don't really know about it. I feel kind of, because like I bought like old games. So far I spent like $10 on the summer sale, and I got 3 games, and they're all like at least like probably at this point like 10 years old. As for what I bought The Wolf Among Us because it went back on sale for cheap, and I really want to play The Wolf Among Us on stream eventually, because I think of all the like Telltale like choice-based games, I think Wolf Among Us is the coolest. And the game has Big B Wolf, and how many other games have Big B Wolf? Not many. I bought Dishonored 1 because I played Dishonored 1 like 10 years ago. I played Dishonored 1 on, I think, the Xbox 360. Like, I had that game so long ago. But it's probably my favorite combat in any game, from what I remember at least. So I got that because it was really cheap. and because I have the second one too, which I haven't played, so I thought that could be fun. And then Alan Wake was on sale for like $2. And I have never played Alan Wake, surprisingly, so I said fuck it and bought it. So we got James Sunderland, we got Alan Wake, we got the Where's My Wife starter pack. Because isn't that what Alan Wake does? Isn't Alan Wake also like a Where's My Wife style horror game? Pretty sure that's the vibe. It's like a Where's My Wife guy thing. Yeah, we got the Where's My Wife guy starter pack going. But I got Alan Wake because it looks cool, and I think eventually if I want to like Helldivers 2 or something. I will say, Boyfie did play a lot of Helldivers, so did Aki. I will say, at least according to him, Helldivers is like, it's fun on your own, but having multiple people is what makes it fun. So if you don't have a lot of people to play with, like that's why he kind of stopped playing it, because people got busy and so he couldn't really play it with just randos online, just like didn't hit the same for him. Silent Hill 2 so far is so fucking goated. I'm terrified. That was an abysmal gaming experience we have started. I fucking was scary and I hated it and it was awful. 10 out of 10. Can't wait to play it again once my like yeah, most of them don't talk, yeah, because like my boyfriend is one of those guys where like he will do the like, come on brother, we must go, like he's one of those kind of guys, so like he gets sad when people don't want to roleplay in the games with him. Which is really cute. But yeah, a lot of people are really quiet, sadly. So but basically like, yeah, Silent Hill 2 so far is goated. I was terrified. It was fucking awful. I can't wait to play more. I'm gonna play more once, I think after my surgery, because I think it's probably best to like not play it until, because that game stresses me out. Not play it when my jaw is like sometimes just randomly deciding to kill itself, you know, like not put more stress on my body. But I can't wait. It was so peak forcing James to crawl around and make Leon Kennedy noises. That was so fucking, that was the peak of the gameplay for me. That was the peak of the gameplay for me. Yeah, I was getting to objectify James Sunderland. Yeah, I will say a game I love that I really want to play on stream eventually, but it's like a game that I would want to play with people that I haven't been able to find anyone who wants to play it, so I'm gonna do some searching around. I really, really want to play Devour with people. It's probably my favorite co-op horror game. Like, I love Phasmo. Repo's fun, but Devour is where my bread and butter is. I literally have like some rare achievements from that game. Devour is one of the most stressful fucking spooky games. Alphonse, yes, if you play it with me, I will love you forever. Like, truly, I love that game. It is so fucking stressful and awful and annoying. I love it. It's like addicting to me. Like, shoot it into my veins. Like, I love it. It's so stressful and so... Ooh, but it just like gets my brain going. Like, I don't know, like I love the adrenaline feel. The way I could compare it is that the adrenaline sense that I get from that game is like the same kind of adrenaline you get from playing Outlast, because it's like a you can't really fight back kind of game. You can stun people and that's it. So like that just gets me like hype, because it's also like the Mr. X thing of like it's an enemy that you cannot really defeat, that is just always looking for you, and you just gotta hope you don't run into him, and if you run into him you gotta stun him and run or hope you can hide. Like, whew, it's so good, but a lot of people don't want to play it because it is stressful. So Alphonse, if you were down to play it once I get my surgery started, I love that game. I literally have gold achievements for that game. Like, I am so serious about it. That's one I really want to play. I also would love to play Fighting Cultists. Sounds fun. It's so fun. It's got prox chat. It's really funny. I also, another game I love too is I love Sons of the Forest. I was a religious The Forest player, but I like Sons of the Forest more actually, and I fucking love that game. The only difference is like it's really hard to do by yourself. Because that game does also spook me because, I don't know, man, the cannibals freak me out. But, like, the caves, overworld is fine, but, like, the caves freak me out because of the sounds. Like, the audio is really good in that game. But Sons of the Forest is really hard to play by yourself. So, like, that's another that I think would be really fun. You watched it too. Oh, yeah, that was the good times when a certain someone was a cannibal. Yeah, I also like Markiplier did a really funny playthrough with Bob and Wade that I love. Their playthroughs are so fucking funny. My husband wouldn't play with me, so I never got to play it. I got Boyfie to play with me because he doesn't really get scared often. Boyfie doesn't really get scared until aliens are involved. My favorite underrated game I love is Lost Planet 2. That was so fun to play. Isn't that the one with like fucking dinosaurs or something? Like, isn't that like balls to the walls? Yeah, Boyfie does not like aliens. Boyfie, aliens is like, that's in his, like, obviously he can get spooked by other stuff, but like aliens is what gets, I think it's just because like there's the unknown aspect, but also the aspect that like if like an alien is there, there's the pretense that they are significantly more advanced than you, so there's nothing you could do about it, you know? Like if it's a ghost, you know, you could probably, you know, but if it's an alien, like you're kind of fucked because they have to be significantly more advanced and stuff. Illuminati. He doesn't really get spooked with Helldivers because he just like is dedicated to super. I mean, for him, it's like he's more freaked out about like, for example, like he doesn't really get scared by games much. He's more of like movies freak him out. Like, yeah, exactly. If he has a weapon, Boyfie is the type where if he gets a weapon, he gets like balls of steel. I always joke to him in spooky movies when like there's a couple and the guy gets a hold of a weapon and starts acting like he's Ash, you know? I'm like, that's you. That's what you would do. You would grab a weapon and like, he's like, one of his favorite like 4chan green texts of all time is the guy that talks about how his friend like thought he was haunted and got like drunk or something and like poured holy water on his fist and basically started just punching the shit out of the air. Like that's how Boyfie, like Boyfie, if he feels like, exactly, if Boyfie feels like he can fight back, he's fine. But like when it comes to like something that has like advanced technology and physical ability, we're like, we just can't do, you know, he can't do anything about that. And like, especially, I think it's also more of the fear of like, I think this is a thing a lot of people have in general, but especially I think a lot of men have, of the fear of like seeing something happen to like a loved one and you can't fight back. Like a big thing in scary movies is if there's a case of like the guy watches his girlfriend get like attacked or something or like taken and he can't do anything because he's physically overpowered, like that freaks the fuck out of him, you know, like that kind of stuff. And like, so like anything alien related that deals with like abductions or things like that relate to like, for example, there's a movie we watched called Dark Skies. It's like an alright horror movie about like a family being terrorized by aliens and they're trying to like take their children. And like that kind of freaked them out of the because like the idea of the feeling of like not being able to protect. Like my Boyfie, and even when we play D&D, Boyfie's a self-sacrificer. Boyfie's kind of like a self-sacrifice kink, I swear. Like he is a self-sacrificer through and through. Like it's in his blood. So then Ghost, like scientifically, yeah, that's kind of how he feels too. For him, the the spook, I would say, is like aliens #1, and then like ghosts. Actually, I would say it's like aliens #1, 2 would be specifically like cryptids and stuff, and then like monsters. 3 would be ghosts, and then 4 I think would be like actual people, like in like stranger type situations, because my Boyfie would just be like, I'm gonna beat the living fuck out of if it's a person. Like Boyfie does not care. Boyfie will just be like, I'm gonna indomitable human spirit and beat the living shit if it's just like a dude, you know. What about the Fourth Kind movie? He doesn't like to talk about that movie. That's a movie that I think that he told me he would love. Like, for those who don't know, that's like considered one of like the best alien spooky movies, despite being a more niche one. He wants us to watch that eventually, to like, because I think I mentioned before his like dislike of aliens, and he's like, I need them to understand. And I have saw it with him, and like it does got some like ooh kind of, it does get really freaky. That is a good one that I do want y'all to watch eventually, because that's a specific Boyfie request. My first D&D character, he took exploding frog and flew. Dude, Boyfie, every character he plays, Boyfie has self-sacrificing moments all the time, to the point where like I feel like I have to be like, I end up becoming that character where I'm like, no, dumbass, you're not gonna do this. Like, he's constantly like, I will throw myself onto the bomb, and I have to be like, we have other options. You don't have to immediately jump to throwing yourself on the bomb. Like, yeah, he immediately will just jump to, I will kill myself for the group, and it's like hold on now, we can talk about this first, but he does it every time. It's so funny. It's a secret treasure I summon. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny, man. It's true. He does. Especially if it's so funny, because we did a Jujutsu Kaisen D&D campaign, and his character kind of was like a mix of Toto and Megami, and that Toto in terms of like the vibes of being like the Giga Chad, built like a fridge guy. But God, he really did the Megami shit of just being like, I will unleash my main attack. Something slightly consequential happens, and he was like, I will die for all of you. And it was just like constantly like, no, you don't have to do this. He would, and that's the thing, he tries all the time, and like he almost did get blown up multiple times, like, and we had to be like, we don't have to do this, like, stop, don't do this. Like, the amount of times in JJK that Boyfie did the like fucking just like, especially too, because if there's one thing about Boyfie, it's kind of funny in like games, Boyfie doesn't like tanks really, or melee fighters in games. Like, Boyfie is like a ranged guy, but in D&D he plays a tank so often. So the amount of times that because he has that self-sacrifice in him, so the amount of times that he's just like, I will stand here as an impenetrable wall and take all of the damage for everybody. And when I say also, he rarely like, he also plays them in such a like Giga Chad way too, where you're like, part of you is like, you obviously want to stop him because you don't want him to risk dying, but at the same time it's like so cool the way he does it that you're like, fuck, I gotta let him have this. Fuck, I gotta let him have this. He's doing like the Giga Chad thing. Like, I mean, you gotta think about it. Boyfie's like favorite anime characters are literally Toto, Iskandar from Fate Zero, Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins, Armstrong from fucking Full Metal Alchemist. Like, Boyfie has a very specific inspo that carries through very frequently, and unfortunately, they are the coolest characters in their verse. So you are like, I have to let it happen. I have to let it happen because like I can't stop this. Like, this is cool. Armstrong by Goat, yeah, he loves that. Just the general like kind of dumb Giga Chad guy like archetype is his. He loves doing that, and he's so good at it too. He's so good at it. It's so funny. He knows perfectly how to time like the amount of times that he has, like I said, had the moment where like he took all the damage for us and managed to live because he just like he aura farms so hard that the dice like Boyfie's like me, and that both of us tend to be very unlucky with our dice. Like we're very unlucky with our dice half the time. Like, and when I say unlucky, I'm talking like sometimes it's a struggle for us to even hit the enemy level bad with our dice. But he aura farms so much in those moments that like the dice has to give him it, and like he gets like a nat 20 or something. You know, when it matters, Boyfie pulls through, and he's the kind of guy where like he struggles with like his dice and everything throughout the whole fight, and then when he finally just pops the fuck off and does something, he rolls like a nat 20 and he changes the trajectory of the entire fight and like secure like every fight we have had in our Jujutsu Kaisen campaign, he has been MVP because he does something that just like completely shifts the entire fucking vibe. I got crit by Goblin 4 times in the second session and got my PTSD for the rest of the That's wild though. His luck was horrid. Yeah, that's kind of how Aki's got really good luck when it comes to DMing. He crits so often that it's like unfair sometimes. Like, I have played before where we were doing a boss fight and he rolled 4 crits in a row, and like even he was at the point where he was like genuinely apologetic for us, you know. Like Aki has like really goated dice luck when it comes to DMing specifically, and it's really fucked up because Aki is also a very rough DM when it comes to his encounters. Aki likes to throw hard shit at us. So when we're fighting like a boss that's probably at least 2 or 3 levels above us, he rolls so fucking goated, and then we just get like Ash baby. No, I'm scared for and here's the thing though. Aki, sorry, I had to keep itching my face. Aki will not try to purposefully kill us, but the Castlevania campaign will be harder, he said, but I think we'll be fine because, you know, I think we got a good setup, which I will say, we did do session 0 of our campaign. It went really fucking good. It went really fucking good. And so basically we're not able to do this week, partly because, you know, my issues, but also because Aki has some prior engagements that he has to deal with, because America 4th of July week, there's a lot of stuff going on with families and all that stuff, you know. But next time we get to, which hopefully will be next week, we will be able to run for everyone, and I'm so excited because it was so good. I genuinely did not expect it to be that good. Like, we were all like sad when we ended because like we basically just did like, you know, we went over our stuff, everyone got fully set up how we needed, and then we did a like, we're gonna start the campaign like for y'all basically like right after we met for the first time, you know. Finish uploading. Yeah, bye bye Gringo, bye bye, thank you for stopping by my like rather impromptu stream. Yeah, we did like the introduction just so that we could see like the vibes of our characters and like how they mesh with each other. And it's really good. I won't say anything really about my character because I have a lot of I cooked with her. I think of all outside of my character that I made for a campaign long ago that inspired my VTuber that I will eventually get to, like, I will steal the lore I made for her for my VTuber. I think this is my favorite character I have made lore-wise. I am so excited for everyone to get to meet her, and it's very different for me. Yeah, he's more like an ant person. It was really different for me getting to play because basically I have played like a bard before, but the bard I play is like a ditzy, you know. I play her like if you guys ever watch Zombieland 2, the like bimbo chick from that where everyone's shocked that she's somehow still alive and she's just like, oh my god, hi guys, I didn't expect to see you, as like she's driving down the street, you know. Like that's like the vibe of a bard that I played before, where like she was just so like vibey that like she manages to like somehow get through social situations. This time I'm not a bard, I'm a warlock, I will say that. I am playing the seductress archetype, which is very different for me. I've never played that kind of character before, so I'm a little out of my comfort zone in that I've never played like that kind of vibe, but I was really enjoying it, and I think it's really, really fun the vibe we got cooking up. Care to say out in a campaign? I will say it's really funny. Yeah, we got a double warlock party, which I think is really cool because it's a 4 party. It is on the smaller side, but I like it because I think our dynamic was we decided to stay as 4 because the dynamic was just so good that we don't want to risk vibes shifting. We got the battle warlock, and then I'm like full social warlock, so I think that'll be really interesting because I will say like I like that the party, like half of the party's vibes is kind of similar. Like me and Shido's characters have rather similar energies, and then Alphonse, you and Chewy's characters have very similar energies. So it's kind of cool because half of the party has the more like sophisticated, put together, like probably, you know, wealthy sort of energy, and then the other half of the party is like I'm the trash man. Why? Because I eat trash. So I think it'll be really fun. I'm so excited. Aki has been working on it a lot. I've chilled with him a bit on call while he works on stuff. I don't know any like spoilers or anything, but just he often vibe checks stuff by me to be like, oh, what do you think of this idea or this idea, you know? He's cooked so much. Like he has come up with so much lore for this. Like he got brainworms. And that's when you know it's gonna be, because when Aki gets brainworms for when anyone gets brainworms for the D&D campaign, that's when you know it's gonna be good. And Aki's got the brainworms. He's been fucking cooking. So I'm really excited. Yeah, your character is literally a fanboy. I think it's so funny when your fucking dude leaned over to me and Shido's characters and you were just like, I ship it. That was so fucking funny. That was so funny. Like I'm very excited. I can't wait to see. I'm so proud of how my characters turned out, because I was a little unsure because I've never played the, like, you know, wealthy courtesan vibe. I've never played that energy before. Usually I play like bimbos or just like kind of weirdos. Like one of my first D&D campaigns was a vampire who hid the fact that he was a vampire, and so like people just kind of thought he was like a weird tweaker because he would have to like sneak off to go like eat a rat or something. You know, like that kind of thing. Bimbos, yeah, my bard character is a bimbo. She is, like, even though her intelligence technically is kind of high, like, I play her like a bimbo. That's like, I'm really good at doing the bimbo. I'm good at doing the valley girl. Like, that's why whenever people play Monster Prom with, like, Aki, anytime he wants to play Monster Prom, he's like, you're poly. I'm legally designated. I can do that pretty well. I've been debating basically, like, yeah, we're on noodle arm strict though. It doesn't matter because listen, Shida will our aura farm. I will just like puff my chest out and convince the guards not to. And then if that doesn't work, then you and Chewie just blast them. Who needs strength, you know? I will say, I have been tempted to try to get back into the campaign I ran. But if I did, I would have to reboot it. The difficult thing about the campaign I ran is that I ran, for one, I didn't use the D&D system, I used the Fate system, which I actually prefer to D&D, personally, because I'm more of a story player than a combat player. But what I did was I did a game that was essentially an isekai for a otome game, where it was an isekai that the players were, you know, isekai'd into the world of an old school, like, samurai otome game, where you're assigned a bodyguard who is your, like, romance option, and you have to, like, you know, fucking deal with, like, the wars and all this kind of shit going on. And I really enjoyed it. Aki is, like, a fiend for it. He's, like, obsessed with that. He was a part of it. And he's, like, please reboot it. Like, I already told him he will be, like, I will probably revamp some of the romance options, but, like, him and I told him, like, you will come back as your character, like, I will bring you back and I will reserve your girl specifically for you, because I basically engineered a chick in a laboratory to appeal to Aki specifically. Like, I basically made her in a laboratory specifically for him, and he immediately became, like, obsessed with her, and I was like, see, I know my bestie. I know exactly what he likes. Who needs strength from the Gatling character? Exactly. Yeah, Ramsey? Okay, but yeah, I basically, like, cause Aki's vibe, like, the girl he romanced, Kawabe, which I love her, she's so fun to play. She's raised by, she's a monk. Her fathers are monks, and she is the tomboy, you know, hand-to-hand fighter. She doesn't, you know, she's not really about, like, she's very to herself, very closed off. She's very, like, teasing in the sense that, like, she, like, a lot of their flirtations would come from the fact that he would spar with her and she would beat his ass, and, like, they would make comments at each other while they're fighting. Like, they do that kind of shit a lot. And, like, he was foaming at the mouth for her, basically. So he's been, like, begging me to get back into it. It's just my thing with it is, like, I would have to find new players, because I would have to find people who were, like, really into it. And also, I was cooking with the story. Because, like, even though romance is obviously a huge part of it, I built up, like, a whole, like, insane fucking lore going on with, like, I built a whole combat system. Like, because, like, the thing about it too was basically what it was that the players themselves, because they're just normal humans that got sent into it, they're not able to fight. So when they fight, they get to fight as their, like, their bodyguards and use their abilities, because they are the ones that, you know, fight. It was pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know. I've been tempted to get back into it, but there's just been so much going on. I've also just been, like, I don't know. I feel like this is my toxic D&D trait. I feel like I don't know if this is a normal thing. I always enjoy this, like, the first half of a campaign more than the latter. I like starting a campaign. I think it's because for me, due to like how my brain works, like I form hyperfixations on something. So when I start a new campaign, I got the brainworms. I am fixated on it like nothing else. But then after a few months, you know, I moved to becoming obsessed with something else, you know? And so the 2 campaigns Aki runs have officially hit hiatus because he also, to avoid burnout, wants to try doing different stuff too. And I'm fiending to like start a campaign. That's why like I'm really excited about the one we're going to be streaming here soon, because I love starting a campaign so much. Like I love building new characters, and you know, after a few months less, yeah, more stuff sends. Yeah, I love building characters. Like sometimes I have more fun building the character than playing them, honestly. I love building characters. I'm so excited for it, and I also just hope that like we could do more stuff, even just like off stream, because not for that campaign specifically, that one we will be like exclusively streaming it, but like if he has any other that he wants to do in slot of like our personal ones, because yeah, I don't know, I find myself, like I will admit, after like a few months to like a year or so, I tend to get a little less invested sometimes. But when like a new campaign starts, dude, I'm so locked in. So I don't know, I'm excited, and like I'm really happy with how my characters turned out for the Castlevania one. It's a different vibe than what I've done, but I think you guys will like her. It's kind of scary in a weird way of like trying to because like I said, I've never played the like seductress type. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from anime characters. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from like the like horny women that I idolize. To ensure that my girl serves cunt and is able to flirt her way to success, because I also tend to play characters who end up, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna play like a flirtatious character, or like you know, like a promiscuous character, and then I immediately meet someone who's peak and I settle down like instantly. So I don't really have too much experience like playing super overtly flirty characters with like randos, so that's an interesting thing to get kind of like progress doing. But I like it, it's fun. Make a harem. Dude, it's so funny. I've cooked up so much lore for I can't wait for like reverse harem. Yeah, it's gonna be really funny to see how things plan out and to see how she develops and how I develop that concept. But I'm so excited. Like, it's so good. I will say, speaking of anime, I started some new animes. Well, not all of them are new. It's just like new for me in that I started them, you know? You're gonna tell me she has a harem? No, she does not. I can say that. She does not have a harem already. I will confirm that. She does not have a harem. She is just good at using her assets to get what she wants, but she does not have a harem. I will say that. I did start some new animes, not like, the only like new one is, okay, well, I guess it's not technically an anime because it's Chinese. I don't know what the term for, because like I know it's manhwa, right, for their manga, but I don't know what the anime version, like the animated version of it is called. To Be Hero X. I've not started that one. I started Lord of Mysteries. Boyfie and I started that one because I heard a lot about it, and I tried watching that one. It was so pretty. I had zero fucking clue what was happening the entire time. Dongha? Okay. I had zero clue what was happening. Like, at all. But it was cool. Like, we watched episode 1. It was animated beautifully, and the character design is really cool. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? I will say, okay, I will say this because you're gonna think it's probably really funny, Ultra, since you know it. I, for one, was really mad because I realized that there were multiple D&D characters that I ripped their art from Lord of Mysteries, and I punched air about it. Specifically, because I've only ever seen episode 1. The sailor guy, the blue hair sailor guy, dude, I was so fucking pissed. I was like, oh shit, I used art for him for like this character that I was like, oh my god, it's him. Like, that was crazy. That I like lost it for a moment. I was like, because I did a pirate themed campaign, and dude, if you try to look up anything related to pirate-esque art, that fucking dude pops up nonstop. But he looks, he's pretty hot, so like understandable. I don't know his name. I don't think he mentioned it. I think he called himself the Hanged Man for like the tarot stuff, but I don't know his actual name, I don't think. But he was cool. Also, sorry if you hear like a squishy sound. I'm like squishing the hell out of this thing. My boyfriend got me this like squishy toy that's like, it looks like a piece of candy, and I've been squishing the hell out of it, so sorry if you hear that. I'll stop. But yeah, we started that. I had no fucking clue what was happening, and then like, god, there's also one guy that's really pretty. I don't know anything about him though, because we only watched episode 1, and like, I don't think he really talked much. But it's like this long hair pretty guy. I don't think he really talked. What the fuck is his name? Will he pop up if I type in pretty man? He's got like long hair and wears like a hat. Like, he kind of looks like a circus performer. I don't know his name though, because I don't think he really spoke. But he was really pretty, and I liked his design. But I don't know who he is, but he looks like a circus performer. He was cool. I was kind of sad that he didn't have as like big of a part. But I mean, I'm sure he will obviously later on, but like, he didn't do much really in the first episode. Fuck, what's this dude's name? God, I hate the AI mode thing on freaking Google. Like, I don't want to look at AI. Is he in the tarot shit? I don't know what he's... I don't know these fucking dudes' names. God damn it. This is so unfortunate. This is so awkward. Oh my god. What's his name? It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't know it. Okay, well, I can't find a clear fucking answer, which is annoying. You know what? Maybe we'll do things the good old-fashioned way. And I'll just do this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Fuck, where's that picture? Yeah. Oh, Leonard. That's it. Leonard was cool. I liked him. but I didn't really get to see anything about him. He just kind of showed up for like a second, and that was it. But he was really pretty, so I liked that. I liked that he was pretty. He stood there and looked pretty, and that's kind of what he needed to do, and I was fine with that. Again, I don't really know what's going on with like anything that's happening at all. I just know like the visuals were cool, and they talked a lot about like being a Beyonder or whatever, and I was like, okay, sure, okay. Posture check. Oh my god, my back cracked. Jeez. Well, I guess thank you, Swan. But yeah, I started that. 2V Hero X, I don't know what that is. What the fuck is 2V Hero X? I don't know what that is. Oh, is it like a Bilibili thing? Popular Chinese and yeah. I think I've seen this kind of before. Is this the one where they have like the pretty white hair guy that like kills himself or something? Like he like swan dives off a building or something? Is that what this is, or am I thinking of something else? Okay. I've seen that clip multiple times. I don't know anything else about it. I just know people gooned really hard to that twink. It's pretty good. Superheroes who are made by popularity are made to rise rankings in order to become Hero X. Okay, so it's like they're all superheroes or something? Interesting. Let me look at the characters. Because if they have someone that looks appealing to me, I might. X looks cool. I bet Swan would probably really like Dragon Boy or whatever. Ghostblade. He's pretty handsome. There's a fucking dog. That's pretty funny. There's just a dog. Okay. Yeah, there's a guy from the show To Be Hero X called Dragon Boy, and I don't know, just he kind of seems like a character design you would like. He's got like a kind of alt thing going on. There's just a dog. That's pretty sick. I like that there's just a dog. Lucky-chan is cute. She looks cute. I mean, is it okay? Is it actually good, or is it just like people are glazing it because it looks pretty and it's new? Like, is it actually good, or is it like, does it have the, okay, actually, here's a better question. Does it actually have depth to the story, or does it have like the depth of a puddle like Solo Leveling? Like, is there actually stuff like really to the story besides, or is it just aura farming and cool visuals? Okay, because that's why like I couldn't get into Solo Leveling, because it felt like there was nothing else besides just like aura farming and cool aesthetics, which is like fine, but like, you know, it's like I'll play like a video game if I want stuff like that. That's my view of it. So okay, is it on Crunchyroll? Because that's where I usually watch anime unless I go to my 7C's methods. Yeah, Solo Leveling, I think it's fine to like Solo Leveling. Okay, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like Solo Leveling, I I have an opinion on it similar to someone that expressed their thoughts on Drake versus Kendrick. Now hear me out. For like people who like Drake, it's one thing, it's like they phrase liking Drake's music as like, it's one thing to like Drake because he makes a few bangers, but to have Drake be your favorite artist is to hate goodness. And that's kind of how I feel with Solo Leveling. To like Solo Leveling because it's entertaining, like action slop with an aura farmer and cool visuals is fine, but for Solo Leveling to be your favorite anime is like, really, you know, like it's fine to like it. I understand the appeal and like it's just it, you know, it's action slop, you know, you want to see a guy do cool shit and or a farm, like okay, that's fine, but for it to be your favorite is like, you know, like your favorite, like you don't just like your number one, you know, like you know, that's kind of how I see Solo Leveling. So because that was the thing with me, like I thought it was kind of cool. I think some of the characters are cool, like Igris is dope, you know, like honestly I just thought Jinwoo was really fucking boring. Like I thought the side characters were way more interesting than himself. And like I also just can't get into the, I'm sorry, I'm just so bored of the trope of like every isekai that's like, here's this fucking loser and guess what, in 2 seconds he becomes the coolest guy on earth, you know, like I'm just kind of like I don't really I've seen it so many times at this point that like it's just not really gonna hit for me, you know. And I also don't like gamer speak in isekai type or just like any of those genres where like they do gamer talk of like, I gotta increase my stats, oh man, like I hate that kind of stuff so much. That's why like I could not originally get into Reincarnated as a slime, because the whole bit in the fucking cave with the dragon made me want to like, I literally passed out like 4 times trying to get through that first episode because it was just like, oh man, my stats are so low, I won't be able to progress to the next level. Like, oh, don't do that, please don't do that. The closest to gamer talk in an anime I can handle is my fucking goat Ainz Algon, because when he does gamer talk, it's for a bit and it's really funny. Like like the bit where he's about to fight and he spends like 5 minutes stacking all of his buffs, and he like that was really funny because he just stands there and he just goes through his fucking list and stacks all of his buffs and potions and bonuses on himself. That was funny, you know. Ainz really only talks gamer shit because he's doing that. Sorry, my face is so like itchy because of allergies. But I don't like that kind of stuff, and I didn't like that Solo Leveling did a lot of that, of like, oh man, I better increase my stats, oh I'm falling behind the others, like oh god, oh stop please, it's so cringeworthy to me, I hate it. Just why I like Freean. Yeah, Freean was really good. Like Ainz is like, I've been able to watch Slime as like Slime after the first like 3 or 4 episodes really stops the gamer shit for the most part. Like they don't really mention it often at the point I'm at, so like I'm fine, but oh, it was rough at the start. Dungeon Meshi, yeah, dungeon. That's the thing. If they mention it every once in a while of like, ooh, I should check my levels or something, that's fine. But yeah, when they start talking like, oh man, my HP is low. It's like, this is so lame. Stop. It's so corny. I can't. I will admit, I also just like, I don't really like a lot of Korean like web novels and stuff. Like I don't know, man. I've tried a couple, every single one. I've not, for one, I don't tend to like the art style really, because like I don't know how to say this besides like it looks too polished for me. Like it looks too everything, like the style is very much like, I feel like everybody has like a coat of like clear pottery glaze on it, you know? Like everything looks so like weirdly like kind of flat to me, of like, I don't know, something about it just like isn't as appealing. Like I feel like there's not as much shadowing, not as much like depth to the visuals. They're more flat, which I don't really like, you know? Like it's usually just flat colors with maybe some shading on like the hair or the body, but a lot of it is just very, very flat. I think because since most of them are in color, it takes too long, I think, to probably do that, so they do just keep them, tend to be kind of flat. And then versus like manga, which is black and white, you know, you have to do shading and stuff. So when they translate to animation, I feel like it's like Solo Leveling is just so like clean to me, I guess. Like I don't know, it's just not really a very appealing aesthetic to me. I find more like Donghua is more, I feel like the aesthetics that are common there are more like I'm alright with, because it is still very pretty and very colorful and stuff like that, but I don't know, the art just is more, also like I just don't really like a lot of Korean beauty standards too, so I have a hard time. Yeah, Alphonse, of course, thank you for stopping by. I've had a hard time with a lot of Korean like web comics and stuff like that, because I just don't really find the characters very appealing looking, because they're very Korean beauty standard, which is like tiny heads, big eyes, you know, like a lot of them kind of have 90s yaoi proportion, you know, and like it's just not very appealing, you know. So I also kind of like, with the trend of a lot of like Korean web novels and webtoons getting turned into anime, like I haven't really been interested in a lot of them, you know. Yeah, because like for example, if I had to say what my favorite, like if I had to say the aesthetic in anime that is like my peak, my cream of the crop, like my, this is peak to me and I don't think anything will top it, for me it is Bleach. Especially like Thousand Year Blood War Bleach, like that is my pinnacle of like, that art was tailored for me. That Kubo's like art transformation, it was like he did it for me, because it is so perfectly my style of what I like. Very, you know, harsh. Like I also don't like this trend in anime where like every character has to have soft facial features. I also don't like that. I don't like that. I like the angular faces. I like the angular lines. I don't like everything being soft looking. That's why like I was kind of disappointed with like the Black Butler remake, or not remake, but the new season, because it's so much softer. And I like the Eichmann style of the sharp faces. Not even just like jawlines, just sharp faces in general. I think it's more visually interesting. The art was what drew me to Bleach. It didn't look like anything else to me at the time. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Bleach is considered the most influential of the big three, in terms of like, most new gen mangakas have listed Bleach as like their inspo, you know? It really was, but like that's my peak. Also because Bleach will like make older characters that actually do look kind of older. looks at my goat Kyoraku, you know, like that's a grown-ass man, and you can tell that's a grown-ass man, you know, versus like everybody has to look 20 years old, you know. Rukia, yeah, she's so cute. I love them all. Orihime is my girly, but I love all of them. I love the main 6 in general of Renji, Ichigo, Rukia, Orihime, Chad, Yuryu. I love all 6 of them very deeply. They're my bookies. I literally have a Renji figure right in front of me right now. Like, I love it, but yeah, I don't know. That's another thing of just like recent anime that's been a little like not very appealing for me. Is just, I don't like how soft everything is. Like, it's not as visually interesting, you know, like it feels too polished. I like it to look a little, that's why like one thing Boyfie, once we finish, that he wants me to watch, once we finish what we're watching right now eventually, I'm honestly tempted to wait for the new season to come out to do it, but Dora Hedro, because like I do like how different that anime looks in terms of like the aesthetic. Like it's so different looking that like I appreciate it a lot, you know. That's like a new anime coming out that I'm like interested in is fuck, what's it called? It's kind of hard to pronounce, I think, if I'm remembering correctly what it is. I think it's Gachakura, I think is what it's called. But that's another one that I'm really interested in that's coming out. It's like a new shonen, but I'm interested in it because the aesthetic is just so different looking. It looks a lot grittier and a lot more unique than a lot of the ones coming out right now, and that's appealing to me. So I'm interested to see what that one's like. I don't really know anything about it. I will say an anime I have started watching a bit with Boyfie, and I posted a little bit about it on Twitter. It's like Boyfie did get me watching Fire Force. Wait, hold on, I gotta cough real quick. Sorry. He did get me watching Fire Force, and it is like a love-hate relationship because like the main character is kind of buns. I don't know, he's kind of boring. I don't really like, he's just kind of there. Like, I don't know, he's kind of boring, but you can kind of ignore him. There is the looming threat in the anime of the cat girl that is literally falls out of her clothing, which is so like eye roll. Yeah, she is unironically a looming shadow over the anime. Every time she shows up, like, I get nervous. Like, she really does, like, drag it down. But, like, for example, there's another female character that's, like, looted a lot, but she's, like, actually an adult, unlike the cat girl. And she's, like, this, like, dommy mommy fire captain. But her stuff is like funny. Like, for example, like she makes her employee, like the dudes on her team, like form a chair and she sits on them and they're like into it, you know. It kind of has the vibe to me of Aphrodite from Record of Ragnarok, where like it's so over the top that it's kind of funny. Like they lay down so she can walk on top of them and they're like fucking gooning for it, you know. Like, it's kind of funny because it's just like, it gives kind of Bayonetta energy in a sense of more of like you're laughing at the fact that like these dudes are so down bad and she's just kind of like, ugh, you know, like it's so over the top with her that like it's funny. She literally calls herself Princess Hibana. Like, it's really funny how just over the top it is. And she's an adult versus the cat girl, not an adult. Literally just falls out of her clothes for no fucking reason, you know. And I got scared, like when she interacted with her captain at first. I looked at my boyfriend and I was like, please tell me he sees her as a daughter. And he was like, yes, he does, thank God. And I was like, you gotta be careful with this mangaka, man. Like, anytime she interacts with a grown man, I'm like, please tell me they see her in a daughterly way and not in an inappropriate way, because she's half naked, you know. And like, thankfully, at least it seems the grown men in the show, like, they don't really, it's like this weird thing where like they don't really address that she does it, at least so far. Like, they don't address it really. Like, they just treat it as like whatever, it's just normal at this point. But like, they don't, like, thankfully at least, like, I mean, the main character kind of like gooned a little bit, but like, he is her age, so I don't think it's that big of a problem. Like, they're both like 16, that's fine. But like, you know, there's a lot of grown adults in the show. They all seem to thankfully not goon for her, which is like, the bar is truly in hell for this mangaka for that to be the case. But you know, a win is a win, I guess. I started watching it purely because I thought that it had 3 very hot men in it, and it's fun. It is fun. I will say, I think the cat girl and the main character are like the weakest parts of it. Like, the cat girl just because she's really cringy how overtly fan service it is, but the main character just because Shinra's just kind of boring. Like, he's just kind of boring. Like, there's not really much there. Like, they kind of, like, you can even tell that the mangaka doesn't really give a fuck about him, because like, they kind of glossed over, like, they just gave him a generic traumatic backstory and just kind of glossed over it, you know, like, they don't really give a fuck. Catwalked, hell yeah, bass cat on the keyboard. But he's also kind of like, like, he's just whatever, you know, he's not bad, he's just kind of like generic shonen protag, I guess you could say. I will say Arthur is a lot more appealing than him, the second boy, like teen boy on the crew. He's a lot more appealing, he's got a lot more going for him. He is so painfully like Aki is him, so like, he makes me roll my eyes because I'm just like, oh god, you know, like, oh god, it's him. Shinra is just a plot device. Yeah, he really is. There really isn't much there otherwise, but I did what I think everybody did with the show, where they saw clips of Benimaru and were like, this is the coolest guy ever, I want to watch this show. Starts watching the show, realizes he doesn't come in till like episode 15 and is like, what the fuck am I watching? You know, like, I think that's kind of what most people did, where they saw Benimaru and were like, super cool hot guy doing super OP cool guy shit, like, sign me up. But you gotta get there. I will say, it's not as bad as I thought. It really kind of is just the cat girl, which is funny. Like, it really is kind of just her. Like, outside of like a few rare occasions, it's mostly just her that is the problem. If you removed her, it would remove almost all of the issues. Because, like, I'm fine with some fan service as long as it's equal, you know? I know there's, like, a scene where they do, like, a bit about, like, a firefighter calendar to, like, raise money so, like, the guys get, like, shirtless and stuff. That's sick. That's cool. It's just, like, the cat girl is so overwhelming that it, like, feels so unbalanced. If, like, the cat girl was removed and it was just, like, the Dami Mommy and, like, the muscle girl and stuff, it would feel totally balanced and fine. It's just the mangaka can't stop gooning for children. I'm sorry, people might want to deny it. No, the mangaka for Soul Eater and Fire Force that's a pedophile. I'm sorry. So many people really want to try to pretend that he can't stop drawing stuff of fucking 15-year-old girls. Like, the Soul Eater manga is even worse, honestly. Like, he draws Maka, like, half naked or full naked multiple times. Like, check his hard drives for Japan stays Japan. Yeah. All I'm gonna say, I was very thankful when that whole thing of what was that one manga for that, like, god, it was like, was it like Rurouni Kenshi or something, that one like series that was really popular, but the author got arrested for like insane amounts of, you know, underage material, but now he's like out of jail or something, and so like people are kind of like trying to just like pretend that he didn't do all that stuff, and Shonen Jump like celebrated his manga or something, and a bunch of mangakas did like tribute pieces, and I was like, hey, my goat Kubo for Bleach didn't do one, so you know. Like a win is a win. Rurouni Kenshi. Yeah, isn't it that? Wasn't that the series of the guy that got arrested for like insane amounts of inappropriate material? Unless, I hope I'm not slandering this poor fucking man. Like, if he's not, if it is the guy. Okay, no, it is the guy. It is the guy. Okay, yeah. he got charged. No, it was him. Yeah. It was him. It was, well, he was one of, there's been multiple mangakas who have been arrested for having child material, but he was one of them, yes. He was one of them, yes. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, it says here the search uncovered about 100 child DVDs. So he had over 100 DVDs of underage material in his possession in 2017. So, yeah. He got, also, by the way, in February 2008, he was fined 200,000 yen, which is about $2,000 US. Good Japan for really punishing those who... Shout out Japan for really punishing those who do bad things, am I right? Yeah, now that like he's back, they basically are trying to kind of like brush it under the rug and like continue with he's like trying to continue the series, I think. And then basically, yeah, they did like tribute pieces, but I'm pretty positive Kubo didn't do one, so I was like, thank God. I mean, listen, I love One Piece, but like Oda doesn't have any cases against him, but Oda does hang out with people who have known cases against them, and it's unfortunate, you know. Like Oda, I'm pretty sure, was a big supporter of that guy. Like Oda does hang out with some known preds in the industry, unfortunately, even if he doesn't have any cases against himself. It's just kind of unfortunately like Japan moment, you know, certified Japan moment. Where it's so normalized. I don't know, man. It's so normalized. It's so... That's why, like, there was the whole joke when the Apothecaries manga artist got arrested, and then everyone was, like, holding their breath, and then we found out it was for, like, doing her taxes wrong, and everyone was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh God. Usually when a mangaka gets arrested, typically we know what the charge is gonna be, and it's not gonna be anything good. So it was kind of like, oh, thank goodness, you know, it's just tax evasion, basically. Ugh. But yeah, it's unfortunate, you know. I will say that I do I'm trying to think. Hold on, sorry, my brain like died. I will say as for like the rest of the week, I mean, once I find out about the surgery, that'll like depend, because I mean, Boyfie says like he thinks I'll be fine like in like a day or two, unless I just take a weird amount of time to heal. Like I should be able to talk and stuff. So I'm hoping that the recovery process isn't long, because I miss streaming. Like I want to stream again. But it's just kind of like hard right now because it's like a bit sensitive, you know? So because of that, like I'm not gonna do Silent Hill for now just because I don't want to put more stress on my body. What I'm thinking, like I decided since I just kind of impulsively went live today, what I'm thinking is like doing some, like I'll do some chill games, you know? And I won't start anything crazy. Like I think I should be good to do tomorrow as well, and I think I'm gonna go and do some like Pirate Yakuza side quests and stuff. I just figured today I would just talk so that I can get a lot of the like where I've been and stuff just kind of like really out of my system, you know? But I think I'm just gonna do that until, cause like I don't wanna, I'll probably make a schedule for next week if I don't have a surgery date by then. And it'll just be very loose, you know? But I just really want it done so that it can be over with and I don't have to worry about it and I can go back to streaming because like I've also linked up with some really cool people that I want to like collab with, and I have like, you know, like I mentioned, I came up with so many ideas of things I want to do and stuff, but I feel kind of like nerfed right now. But I don't know. I felt like I had to stream because, not like I had to, but just, it had been so long that I was like, oh God, I just want to get stuff out of my system and like, don't forget about me. But I will mention, I think I might have to go because I'm starting to get pressure buildup on my ear pretty bad again. So, because I am wearing headphones, so I think I have to go and ice my ear and my jaw to get the swelling to go back down. So I will probably have to go. It's getting a little bad, so sorry about that. But you know, I'm glad to have at least gotten to do something. It'll probably be shorter streams for until I get my surgery, but you know, it's a way to still get out there. And yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't realize I also just don't know what it's like to do like normal. Like I don't know. Like my boyfriend has tried to like massage my back and he says he feels like gravel, you know? Like I guess I don't really know what's tense or not. Like they literally have me taking muscle relaxers to sleep, and I think I need a higher dose because it doesn't feel any different. So, you know, it'd be like that. But yeah, it'll be kind of like a weird schedule for now, but hopefully within a week or two it should be over. But I'm like kind of back, so yay. I'll try to post a bit more on like Twitter and Discord just to like, you know, stay active, because I also just it's just been getting to me because I've been having to just like lay down a lot and I want to like actually do stuff. You know, I feel kind of like I'm rotting and I don't like that. My body fights through muscle relaxers, anxieties, proper much. Yeah, I didn't realize just how like insane it is, but apparently I think I need to go to someone that can like break my back and put it back together basically. But thank you everyone who came by on this rather impromptu stream. So thank you. I'm glad that it was fun to chat, and yeah, if I'm able to do tomorrow, I'll probably just play like Yakuza or something. So yippee. So thank you everyone. Let me, is there like you know what, I'll probably bop anyone who wants to stick around to Shido, because go see dad. Go see how my dad's doing. But thank you guys for coming, and I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Yippee. Thank you. Oh, gosh, I'm so happy to do it again.